It's all good. So Leon does not know how to use a gun, and he's already on the force, and he got
Akira. People can hear my dude. One sec. What's good, my fellow gamers? A very warm welcome to you all everybody on the show. A very warm welcome and good evening. Welcome to the Company of Gamers podcast, or should I say the worldwide Company of Gamers podcast, bringing gamers and professionals who are experienced and I guess you could say knowledgeable with the deeper things of the gaming industry, whether they be software engineers, analytics, or even game developers, as well as passionate gamers, bringing them from all over the world to discuss gaming here on the Worldwide Company Gamers podcast. That is the purpose of the show. I hope you are all doing good this evening, my dudes. It's awesome to be here. It's been a little bit rushed for me tonight, I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry it's a little bit late, an hour later than usual, and very little notice given. You have my sincerest apologies, folks. It's just been one of those weeks for me, and one of those days, I'm afraid. But I promise you, and I assure you, things will improve in that regard. It's just been a little bit chaotic. However, guys, we still have an absolute fire show tonight. Hopefully OT will be joining us. We are yet to hear from him, but he is trying to make it behind the scenes. But we still have an awesome panel tonight. We have for a relatively short period of time, Mr. David Faulkner guesting. Now, if you don't know who he is a Australian business and I guess you could say financial analyst. Sounds very, I hope I've got that right, David. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me. But it's awesome to have you here. He's very knowledgeable with regards to the deeper level things of the gaming industry. And it's going to be awesome to hear his takes tonight. I'm sure you'd agree. Very privileged to have him here. With him and HD Gamer having joined the show, it's awesome to have Australians representing on the show as well, to add to the diversity of the panel. On top of that, we've got our usual panel members, Akira and Wilhelmovsky. Hopefully OT can make it. DZ sends you his love and apologies for not being able to make it tonight. Sev Davis, a developer. So we'll send our love to him, folks. Spam them emojis in DZ's behalf. He's very sorry he can't make tonight. But it's going to be absolutely awesome. I'm sure you'll agree. By the way, if you can all see my OBS, I apologise. Oh, my days. I've got the full screen display up and running. Nope.
I don't see it. Is it there?
No.
Is it really there?
You know what's really funny, guys? I'm going to shut up. You know what's hilarious? I've got my OBS window directly perfectly positioned over my YouTube window. So I thought it was displaying the full OBS, but it's not. I'll shut up. Never mind. But no, everybody in the chat, a very warm welcome to you all. Shaky Shako, Toolman, Dark Queen Gaming, you're all awesome. It's awesome that you're here with more to come, no doubt. So, let's get the show on the road, guys. We've got an awesome few topics to discuss, but let's first of all introduce our special guest and the panel. First up, Mr. David Faulkner. What's good, my brother?
Hey, how's it going? A bit happening. Want to stay out of trouble? How are you guys travelling?
Very well, mate. It's really awesome to hear your voice for the first time. I followed you for a good... probably 2 years now. I've followed you on Twitter. Kind of always been very, very interested in what you've posted because you've always had a very objective attitude towards the gaming space. I don't know if that's to do with your profession. If you could kind of give us a little information on what it is you do and what it is you're passionate about.
Yeah, so you got it pretty close. I'm a business and financial analyst. and I specialise in they call it cost control and project accounting work at a really high level. So I usually sit around the table with the board members and CFOs and CEOs and that level of stuff.
Oh wow.
Have done some time as a CFO for a smaller company. My main piece is, or my main position is that I've worked in some of the top 20 global companies, so I understand how these big companies work, what their reports actually mean, and how they work, because the bigger the company gets, the more rules are applied to them and the more standardized their reporting has to be. So, and I understand how there's a bit of accounting trickery goes on with some of these reports. So I've got the ability to take those quarterly financial reports, tear them to pieces, and understand what's going on with the numbers. And the numbers don't lie. You can't hide them. You know, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, Capcom, Activision, the numbers don't lie. It's easy to see what's happening, and where it's trajecting to. A lot of the time, you just got to take the time to read what their press releases say and what their business plans are, because they all have to be made public. They're publicly traded companies, so that's sort of my angle on it. You'll notice I interact on Twitter a lot when there's business chatter. I don't get involved in the console war back and forth stuff. That's fun to watch, but it's not really my thing with speculation and all that kind of bullshit. But I like to get involved where clearly somebody is saying something that they are talking out of their arse. They don't know what they're saying, and they're just stirring up trouble with it. And that's usually when I get on my soapbox and start firing back. So
yeah. I love it. I love it. Well,
my passion. Yeah, that's my passion. I'm all about enjoy whatever games you want to play. Don't try and force that opinion on it.
Hello, Mr. David, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, you botted out for a minute then, brother. You said enjoy the games you want to play, but just make sure you're not talking out your arse and...
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Apologies for the crappy internet connection.
No, mate, I can forgive you, bro. You're all the way from the far east in Australia, so... or west, depending which way you look at it.
Down the bottom of Victoria, over on the eastern side. So,
yeah. Mr. DE, thank you for your feedback in the chat, brother. Regarding the buffering, if it's playing up at all, please you guys let me know in the chat. Much love and shout out to Shaky Shako. Thank you for all your support. Get some rest, brother. And you always catch up on the show when you wake. So really always appreciate your feedback and all that you do to support the channel. So thank you. But no, that's awesome, David. You know, it strikes me like you're definitely an authority. You have an authority to the things that you say because of your expertise. And not many can make the claim that they work among the 20 top businesses in the world. And you're almost an advisor, a financial advisor, in short, speaking with board members. So the shit that you say goes a long way and is pretty, in many ways, in many regards, inarguable. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due. And this is why I'm very, very honoured and privileged to have you on the show. I think I could speak for all the panel in that regard. It's a privilege to have you here, brother, and thank you for taking the time to be here. It really means a lot.
Yep, I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
No, my pleasure, my dude. We had HD Gamer, a fellow Aussie of yours, on the show the other week, and he absolutely blew it out of the park. So I don't know whether it's an Australian thing or just I've struck lucky twice. I don't know, but you guys. I don't know, you bring a lot to the table, both of you, in different ways. So, very excited to have you on. So, that's awesome. I've also noticed that in overnight, it seems, I've gone from 570 subscribers to 586. So that's awesome, guys. Thank you for all your support. If you're listening to the show or if you're catching up on the show later, we're almost at 600. That's awesome. Slow but steady progress. Last time I checked, we were at 570, so we're definitely blowing up. Blowing up is a relative term, but definitely in my eyes, I'm seeing great growth. So thank you very much. It's deeply appreciated. Shout out to Ultra Mega. It's awesome that you're here, my dude. Welcome. Enjoy the show. We've got an awesome show planned for you guys. To Wilhelm, how are you doing, my dude?
I'm doing fine. Fun fact is I nearly missed the show because I didn't expect it to be so late, because usually around my time window it's like either 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. But then I saw my YouTube For You page and saw the stream starting at 5 minutes. So I was myself, oh shit, I gotta hurry. It's reminded me of like that time where we were on a short hiatus, where you had some problems with your PC, and then you called me on Discord to inform me that we're back, that podcast is back on track again. But I somehow thought that Discord ringtone was somehow part of a Mudvayne song, so I missed that one as well.
No, yeah, mate. Honestly, I'm very sorry. It's been such a crazy short notice regarding tonight's podcast. I've been honestly like you should speak with my fiance. The amount of shit she has to put up with regards to me stressing about the podcast, you would not believe. Like, I'm there, like figuring out how I'm going to manage to prepare and fit in the podcast around my schedule throughout the week. And then when it comes to the day, things come up, unexpected things, and I'm like, the podcast is so important to me. It's very, very difficult to kind of figure out and prioritize other things going on, because I don't want to let both the viewers and the panel down. So I am sorry about the short notice, my dude, but thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot.
Always.
It really does. So I'm grateful that you're here, my dude. And it's awesome. I apologize in advance if OT doesn't make it. He really wants to be here, but if situation and circumstances get the better of him, please know that he sends his love and that he's sorry for not making it. He gave me advance notice saying he may or may not be able to join us, but he has a hugely high regard for you, David, as you do him. So I just wanted to let you know that he's gutted that he can't be here if for whatever reason he isn't able to make it. But no, thank you, Wilhelm, for being here, brother. And also shout out to 44 Monster. He is ADDJWF. I do know of you, bro. I remember you on Twitter. I'm gutted that you got banned, but unfortunately that's the algorithm. You get enough people hating the facts that you post, they'll mass report you, and the algorithm automatically blocks you. You don't have to do anything or say anything toxic. You just get enough reports, and it's a ban for good. I'm quite surprised that I've lasted as long as I have, to be honest. But it is what it is. But I'm grateful that you're here, 44. Thank you for being here, my dude. And yeah, Mr. Akira, what's good, my dude?
Yeah, so I'm still having the time of my life with Tales of Arise, but it's been really. I've watched a lot of garbage recently.
You are salty right now over Evil, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm so annoyed. Like, first is I dropped the live action Cowboy Bebop after episode 3. That was unbearably. I can't believe I even reached episode 3. The unbearable garbage, like. And then, I got free tickets for Resident Evil Ultra Raccoon City, and I went with the lowest expectations that I can, like low that I said, all right, I said this is gonna be a shit movie, so just enjoy a popcorn movie, and it wasn't enough. I was still disappointed as hell. I was pissed off when I left the theater, and I wanted to leave early, but I'm like, you know what, man, I'm already here, so might as well suffer all throughout until the movie ends, and it was a struggle to watch. So uh, again, I don't know if spoilers are even not allowed here, but if you have any plans to watch the movie, all I'm gonna tell you is that watch it for free. Like it's not worth the money unless if you're a Claire and Chris Redfield fan, maybe you'll like this. But I'm a Leon and Jill fan, and Jill was absolutely useless. She's literally a throwaway character in this movie. Like, did nothing with her, nothing at all.
That's
Leon was the comic relief. They used Leon as a comic relief. They made him
a guy who takes himself too seriously and is super camp, but also awesome at the same time.
Yeah, so basically they made him the comic relief. He's the dumbass. In the movie, there's always this dumbass or idiot that will make you laugh because of how they treat him like a dumbass. That's basically Leon in this movie. So Leon is the dumbass. Like, he didn't know how to put his fucking bulletproof gear. He didn't know how to use a gun when he got into the force. He got sent to Raccoon City because he shot his teammate by accident. That was his backstory, by the way.
So it's literally like a Nickelodeon production. Is what I'm understanding.
Dude, like, he was screaming a lot of times, literally a bitch in this one. He is shooting a lot, not a lot of them hit. Maybe 2 bullets hit the zombie this time. And then all of a sudden, somewhere in the movie, he had a rocket launcher out of nowhere, and he know how to use it. And it's basically Leon. He gets shot at a lot. He gets treated like an idiot by cheap irons. He's not a STARS member, so he's the outcast of the group. It's the terrible shit. Like, it's the most terrible depiction of Leon that I've ever seen in my life. Even Paul Anderson did it better, and I cannot believe I'm saying that. I cannot even believe I'm saying that, but Paul Anderson did it better when it comes to Leon. But yeah.
Did Chris at least punch a boulder?
Dude, you know what? They wanted to put the boulder in there. They wanted to put the boulder, but they cut it. Thankfully, they cut it. Thankfully, they wanted to put the boulder because I don't know. Maybe this movie's made out of memes, but they did the Jill sandwich line, by the way. But Barry is not in the movie. No, Barry is not in the movie, but they still did the Jill sandwich line, so it's completely useless.
This movie sounds like comedy gold to me.
Again, man, like, if you want to watch it for free. I'm telling you now, you're good. Look, dude, I had free tickets, and I still feel like I got robbed out of my money. I'm telling you, it's that bad. All right, one of the worst movies I've seen, and live action Cowboy Bebop made it way worse for me. Like, one of the most garbage.
Mate, I watched the first 15 minutes of that show and I turned it off. I could not believe.
Yeah.
I think it was trying to go for a cheesy kind of comedy.
It's a problem. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
They didn't pull it off with the cheesy comedy. It almost seems accidentally cheesy, which isn't kind of the thing you're going for,
Like, dude, when I heard the blackmail line, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, who approved this shit? Like, who approved this? You remember the blackmail line? Did you reach that? The black, sounds like blackmail, and basically the woman responded like, because you're black and you're male, because the dude was a black guy, and I'm like, who approved this shit? Like, I could write this shit better. Like, there was this dude saying that I'm hating on the Resident Evil movie. Like, I should write my own movie, dude. I would love to write the Resident Evil movie. I would at least write that Leon knows how to use a fucking gun. Like, I would at least write that shit. Like, I don't know what the hell happened there. So, yeah. But again, Tales of Arise is amazing. It's
I've been playing that, bro. I love that game so much.
If Judgment is not released this year, it's actually Tales of Arise would have been my game of the year. It deserves it so much, in my opinion. I would love another Tales game from these developers because I really feel like it's just gonna get better and better when they do it. And I think when I'm done with Tales, maybe I'm gonna go for Guardians or Returnal. I have not decided yet. Really, it's too much backlog. There's too many backlog. Yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. Basically it. We got a lot of news. David, I got a lot of stuff to tell you, man. And this
is why I'm so glad David's here. I tried to get HD Gamer on tonight as well to join us as well, but he's a bit busy today. But he's listening in right now. Shout out to him in the chat. So awesome.
Yeah, I
You're
see
here,
you, man.
HD
What's up,
Gamer.
man?
You're with us in spirit,
But-
my bro.
By the way, guys, you guys should watch Arcane. By the way,
Yeah,
amazing
I've
show.
watched the first
Dude.
episode. It's phenomenal.
Amazing show. Like again, man, like that's like the only saving grace from all of this because I watched Arcane, and I'm excited for season 2. It's such an amazing show, man. I didn't even play any League of Legends in my life, and I love that show. And I'm very excited for Project L because they're doing this fighting game right for the based on the League of Legends roster. So yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty
sorry,
excited for that.
but Arcane just ever since it exists, it just confuses me. Like, who the hell thought to themselves, we have to make a show about League of Legends?
But they
Like,
did it well, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I mean, the thought
I
itself,
love the
thought
art
itself.
direction. The art direction reminds me of Dishonored meets BioShock with a bit of Telltale series, but it's all at like super smooth, fluid motion.
The animation studio is from France. It's Fortiche Productions is what they're called.
Fortiche.
Fortiche. Yeah, it's
I mean,
so
the fact that
talented, these people.
Mate, they're,
I mean, the
they're
fact
phenomenal. The animation work is incredible, bro.
I mean,
Dude,
the fact
if you
that
only
the
watch
show
the
was
first
supposed-
episode.
man, my fucking god.
Sorry, what's that? What's that? If you only watch the first episode, it gets better. Every episode. Sorry, go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
I mean, the fact itself that the show is also supposedly great, it just makes me believe that we're now in the Seinfeld universe. Living in the Seinfeld universe, because I don't believe any of it.
Yeah. Go on.
No, League of dude,
elaborate
you should
your-
watch Arcane. You should watch Arcane. It's great. Hell
I
yeah.
want to watch
Not
Twin
even
Peaks
kidding.
first, though.
Hey,
to watch
Wilhelm,
Twin Peaks.
what if I told you that Charlie Sheen isn't real?
I would
Hey.
believe you, honestly.
Didn't you know? Didn't you know Charlie Sheen had like a reference in the Final Fantasy VII remake? You know that?
Wait, really? No, you're kidding.
No. There was this character. Biggs. You know did you play Final Fantasy VII remake, Wooly?
Pardon?
Final Fantasy VII remake. Did you feel? Did you play it?
I played it. I've not completed it. I kind of put it down after about 20 odd hours.
Yeah, and so Final Fantasy VII. If you played at least the first mission, you will see this guy with a red headband, right, in his head. The guy with the
Right,
green
yeah.
shirt and red headband.
Yep.
That guy actually, he said a line from the movie. I think the movie's called Platoon, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I know the film
Yes.
Platoon.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, movie Platoon. And if you remember Platoon, Charlie Sheen has this red headband as well and green clothes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he said one of his famous lines was said by this character in Final Fantasy VII remake before he died, basically. And
No way.
again, Charlie Sheen reference. I'm telling you, man, I'm not kidding.
Oh, okay. Final Fantasy VII Remake is the greatest game to ever exist, even though I didn't play it.
I love it. Right.
You should say. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
It's all
That
good.
was just a
No,
fun
it's all
fact.
good. So our brother Social Destruct has joined us. What's good, my dude? Thank you for being here.
How you doing, sir? How are you, man? You
Oh,
pulled me
mate.
away from Portal. How dare you?
I know. A shot of me. I'm
dare
so
you.
I'm so sorry.
Pull me
I'm
away
so
from
sorry. Pulling you away
Battlefield?
from Portal
Oh,
is like
you
a
love
big
it, Paul.
no-no.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Social is a huge advocate of Battlefield 2042 on PS5, and I can't blame him. You know, it is
I
a
want
very
to.
stable,
that's
very enjoyable experience. Yeah, it's a bit bare bones compared to BF4, but that will hopefully improve over time.
I want to tell you something, Social. Since you're a fan of Battlefield, I made
sir.
this take where I said, "Do you think Battlefield 2042 would have been better as a third-person game?" Because
Oh,
I made this
bro.
I made this imagination where, because I saw this clip where this guy jumped from this mountain and glided to this plane and then put his his grenades or his bombs or C4 and then jumped away again and watched the plane explode. And I'm like, I think that looks really cool if it was third person. Like, you see yourself gliding to that plane, making that plane explode with your C4. Then jumping away, it's like orchestrating your Mission Impossible action scene. It's,
Thinking about
Don't you
in,
think?
Portal mode, do like a third-person option. Yeah.
yeah, from gliding,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not through gameplay. I mean, not through shooting. That's why I thought about it, because I saw that scene. I'm like, I saw that gameplay clip, and I'm like, that looks really awesome, and I would have loved it if it was third person, something like that. But yeah, that was just a take of mine about
The way
Battlefield.
is the old maps, the way they redid them. I mean, they built them from the ground up, so they don't even look. They look like they've just been remade. They did such a
Yeah.
good job on the old maps. It's incredible to me. I mean, they're just.
I love it. I mean, I've been seeing clips. It's not very stable here, the internet. So I've been seeing clips here and there. I would really love to play it if I don't know if it becomes stable on my end. It's not that stable here.
Yeah, I played some rounds with Odie, and he's on a different continent than me. I'm in Florida, and we played online, and the network code was fine. Like we didn't have any issues at all. And he's in Africa.
Should try it
and I'm
again.
in the United States.
Yeah.
So
Let's try it again. No, thank you. Thank you.
So, you'll have to forgive me, guys. For whatever reason, I messed up with the thumbnail of tonight's show, and so for whatever reason, I've tweeted it out, but it's showing the wrong thumbnail. So I need to just very quickly delete the tweet and add the thumbnail manually, which I am doing right now.
By the way, social destruct. Well, while Wooly does that, I'm gonna tell you that do not watch the live action Resident Evil movie, please. Don't watch it. Watch it for free if you can.
Yeah, I know.
Watch it free.
I know that's really got you
Pirate
salty,
that
bro.
shit. Yeah,
is that
pirate
bad?
that shit, man. It's that bad. Like I said, man. Like I got my tickets free, and I feel like I got robbed out of my money. Like
Shout out to
it's just that bad.
shout out to Dopage J and Javon Goch in the chat. That awesome to see you guys here, my dudes. Yeah, wow. Javon Goch and me have been playing some Ghost Recon Breakpoint together, which I'm actually showing right now. I'm not playing.
What did they improve something?
Guys,
Or-
I cannot stress enough. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is offering an experience you can't really get anywhere else right now. It's so much improved over how it was at launch. It's a No Man's Sky story. I mean it. Like, they have made this game so good. On a tactical level, it offers stealth mechanics, depth,
Interesting.
quality AI, environmental exploration, tactical espionage action, on par with the best of the genres in many ways. The story is trash. The way that they deliver the story still isn't great, but if you can just focus on the gameplay, it's phenomenal, guys. It's really good. You
Isn't-
really should
Woody,
get it.
Didn't they add
upgrade that
Sam Fisher? Did they add Sam Fisher there?
They did a Sam Fisher
Bradford.
storyline. Go on, social. What was your question?
did they do a PS5 upgrade for that at all? Or
They
no?
did, yeah.
The,
60
the-
FPS unlocked. 60 FPS unlocked, and it's a pretty game
Oh,
as well.
okay, cool.
It's a pretty game. It's a pretty FPS.
Woody,
I might try it because I enjoyed Wildlands so much. I enjoyed Wildlands.
Honestly,
a
if
lot.
you enjoyed
So-
Wildlands, you'll enjoy this even more.
Okay, yeah, I
Woody.
might go for it. Then.
Woody. Where you've mentioned tactical espionage action, it just reminds me. I just started MGS1 today.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Win.
big win, Will.
That's a win.
The day you've been all
Big
waiting
win.
for.
By the way,
You
Will,
are very
you know
good
what?
at that.
As a
Huge
first timer, Will, you need some patience with that because there's a learning curve with
Right.
Metal Gear. So
Yeah,
I just need to-
huge
I mean, I'm
learning curve.
just
technically,
need to learn it.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm technically not a first timer because my first Metal Gear was actually Peace Walker.
Oh, Peace Walker.
okay.
Alright, then.
Well,
And I
you'll
love-
love MGS1,
yeah.
my dude.
I love
He'll be
Peace
fine.
Walker. I don't know the hate for Peace Walker.
So,
I don't know why so
let's-
many people hate it.
You just need to need to keep in mind, Will, that this is Kojima's game, so there is gonna be some out of the box shit that you need to.
I don't know.
And
I
also in the
I love
box
that
shit,
kind
you
of-
spend a lot of your time in a cardboard box.
Yeah,
love
that also.
But yeah.
In the
But
box.
that
yeah.
that terrible joke aside, let's get on with the show. Sorry, I just have to respect David Faulkner's time because he hasn't
Oh,
got
yeah,
all
no,
night,
David.
and he
Yeah,
has got to
David.
go at some point. So I wanna get the main topics out the way so that David can go feeling like he's had a bit of juicy meat to bite into. And that juicy meat is the topics at hand, and the topics
yeah.
that we've got, as I'm showing on the thumbnail right now, Sony are not interested in publisher acquisitions. What? What? This is crazy news. Like, what is this about, guys? You heard it first here. Sony is not interested in public acquisitions. Now, publisher acquisitions, Sony not interested in them. This is kind of a rumor, but it's a rumor with a solid basis to a degree. And we're going to be diving into this. Akira has a lot of information on this. Being from the East, guys, being Japanese, Akira has a lot of first-hand information before even mainstream journals. This is why he's such a valuable member of the panel, and why you should always give him a follow. You probably are already following him, but if you're not, you can follow Akira at Akira 09. What is it?
24.
0924 21.
It's
on Twitter.
It's a release date of Lost Judgment. Yeah, it's a release date of Lost Judgment.
And now Akira has a huge amount of info before most journalists have. So we're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing this patent showing a potential mobile gaming system from Sony. Now, it's likely a mobile controller only that goes on your phone, but it could potentially be, a sign of things to come. Is Sony looking to tap back into the mobile gaming market space? Is it time for a Vita 2? Or whatever they want to call it? What do you guys think? We'll be discussing that. We'll also be discussing this narrative that a lot of fanboys from the Team Green are kind of spewing right now. Where are the games, Sony? I think it's awfully, tragically ironic. But we're going to be kind of just discussing this off the cuff later on. Does this narrative actually hold any weight? And why? I know, but we've seen it all across Twitter recently by even guys with big followings. It's kind of scary. People are seeming to run away.
It's ridiculous.
And
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Preach.
Like nobody's talking about Forza now, but never mind, man. Never mind.
Don't get me started on it.
But
Never mind.
this isn't going to be an anti-Xbox bitch fest. It's going to be giving solid reasons in PlayStation's defense, because PS5 gets a lot of hate despite it being successful. Its monetization strategy that Sony implements is called Bygone, even though it's earning double the revenue. It's all very ironic, right? But there's a lot of narratives thrown against this very, very successful gaming console, and the way that Sony monetize it. It's labeled anti-consumer, even by content creators that Phil Spencer follows, right? It's literally called anti-consumer, charging people. God forbid people pay for content. God forbid devs get paid, right? But anyway, we'll be discussing that. But first things first.
When it comes to Halo,
Go on, Akira.
No, but when it comes to Halo, it's okay, right? Like battle progression, playing, the battle pass shit. It's okay, man.
We can talk about that as well. We can get the false narratives out of the way.
Fine.
Yeah, facts.
Nah, man, I'm not holding back. Like, this bullshit is such bullshit.
We'll be discussing all of this, so it's going to be juicy, guys. It's going to be juicy. So let's start this first. Sony are not interested in publisher acquisitions. I just want to for pure curiosity. Does this title in any way surprise you, David Faulkner? Does this title surprise you, or do you already have an inclination in with regards to this title?
Sure, it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure it does not surprise him. Go ahead, David.
Not surprised that the title's written the way it is, because it's trying to get the clicks going.
Yeah, facts.
It's not incorrect to an extent. I wouldn't say they're not interested. Sony is going to put studio acquisitions ahead of publisher acquisitions, mainly because it allows Sony to be more direct with exactly what they're buying. Buying a publisher, you get a shitload of dead weight and a heap of problems. If you go out and just buy the developer.
Can you expound on that, David? In what way does it bring dead weight? I'd love you to hear your take.
You go and buy a publisher. You're buying. What are you buying? You're buying a something they already have. Sony has its own publishing house. What do they need to buy another publisher for? They've got all the tech, they've got all the production staff, they've got all of that stuff in-house already. If they need to expand it to accommodate for more developers or more games coming through, that's quite easy for them to do internally and just promote people up the chain. But if you go out and buy a publishing house, say for example, and I use this just as an example, if they went out and buy Square Enix has got all these developing houses that they own and have involvement with underneath them. And then Square Enix has got this massive corporate overhead just to run the show. And they've got this massive division to go out and source games and, produce games and all the rest of it. Yes, they've got PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo divisions, gaming, mobile. They've got stuff outside of gaming as well. So if Sony went and bought them, they'd have all this stuff that they don't necessarily want to have as part of their strategic move going forward. Sony would be better off to just run out and buy the developer who's working on Final Fantasy 16, the dev house that's doing that, or the dev house that's working on Forspoken, or something like that. They would be able to go and get exactly what they want, and then assimilate them into the PlayStation studios in the manner that they choose to. That's what I say. They're prioritizing buying developers over buying publishers because of that. If Sony went out and bought Square Enix, they'd probably have to cut 3,000 jobs out straight away. And that's not what they want to do. That's not what they're interested in doing. They'd rather go out and buy, like they did with Fire Sprite, go out and buy a team that they know has got quality people in it, exactly what they want. They know exactly what they want them to be doing. And then Fire Sprite went and bought out another smaller dev team to bring them in on board with a similar philosophy and a similar style, and put them all together there in London. I think they're in London. And all of a sudden you've got 250, 300 people knowing exactly what they're doing, and you don't have to get rid of any of them because they just bring straight into the PlayStation family. They're given a producer from Sony, PlayStation heads productions. They've got access straight to their production lines, their producers, their senior direction.
Support.
Support team, and bang, off they go. Whatever comes out of that team, it will be solid. It will be well produced. It will be clean cut. It will be on fire. You can't get that quick result if you go and buy Square or Capcom or Konami or someone like that as an example.
That's such an excellent point, dude. It's basically, I love the fact that I love how you call it dead weight, because it is a reality if you're buying in bulk like a huge amount of teams. They're not all. It's almost like you're diving into the unknown. The publisher has no idea. Kind of, not all studios within that publisher have any kind of necessarily a clue as to Microsoft's, for example, who bought Bethesda, their expectations, their monetization strategy, affecting the way that they design games. There's a lot of kind of unknown and a lack of cohesiveness, where a lack of you go in with the same goals if you buy a publisher if you buy a studio that you've worked with in the past, right? House Marquee, for example, Sony have worked with them many times. They know House Marquee understand what Sony want. Sony understand what House Marquee want, and it can't be. You can't kind of apply that to an entire publisher with 9 or 10 studios, because those studios individually, many of them probably haven't worked exclusively with the acquirer, with the buyer.
Yeah, exactly. And the other key part to it as well, and this gets overlooked a lot, Sony developed relationships with the people, not with the company, with the people, and that is and Akira, correct me if I've got this slightly wrong, but that's a tradition or a hallmark of Japanese culture. Remember, Sony is a Japanese company, not an American company, not a European company. It's a Japanese company. They do stuff in a very different way. There's a lot of honor and a lot of integrity in their business dealings. Now, having dealt with some Japanese business people, they are very shrewd, and you've got to be very respectful of them. But they develop relationships with people, not with companies. Whereas the American way of doing it, and I can say this from experience, is they don't care who it is. They care about the company and the bottom line. And that's not a bad way of doing business. There's plenty of successful American businesses that use that all the time.
It's a lot soulless, though,
the way
isn't
that,
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is what it is.
I mean, it makes the tough decisions easier when they're not emotionally attached. But it also means that there's a lot of decisions made where a little bit of emotion probably would have got a better result. But Sony and PlayStation, and not just PlayStation, Sony in general, they do a lot of work with, and their acquisitions in some of their other business sections is the same. They do a lot of work with people and individuals, and they want to acquire the individual to work for them, not the company that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets overlooked a lot.
This is it's a known fact that, Sony sometimes is really slow with choosing who to acquire. That, David, right? We talked about that. Because there's so much hesitation as well, finding out, how to build a relationship with the people that they're about to get, which is why sometimes it's slow, which is why Shuei Yoshida missed getting From Software. Because again, Sony tries to contemplate a lot of, if they can build relationships with these people and there's nobody to overrun. I think that's like a term, right? To overrun someone with your decision, like not to, let's say that nothing's bad gonna happen to these people if you do this decision, something like that, right? Because you're trying to make a relationship with these people. That's why when the last time David and I spoke, I voiced out where I said, I really cannot imagine Sony getting a publisher. I really can't do it because of it doesn't line up with how business is being done here, and I would be more believe more that they would, let's say, acquire more studios, not publishers, just more studios. I'd rather believe that they're gonna acquire 10 studios versus acquiring a whole publisher with 10 studios. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather believe the latter, that they would rather acquire 10 studios instead of a publisher with 10 studios. And again, because I say to David and Prince a lot of this sometimes, even before I even found out about the 24 billion, the rumor was already circulating around here, because of the bank and all that, and that happened again. And basically the rumors were, Sony is looking more into more studios, which is not really a surprise because Herman Holst voiced that they're not done with acquisitions. So the fact is that they're looking into more studios. They're basically, there are like 20 studios that were mentioned that they're looking into. Some of them are not really from Japan. Some of them are from Korea. Like I told David one time, Sony has been interested in Korea just like how they were interested in China, right? Because in their last, David knows more about this because he reads these things. In their last presentation, like they had massive success in China and they want to continue that. Remember that, David? The one with the slides.
Yeah.
So basically they have like a similar interest as well. Not even for Asia, and again, South Korea seems to be like the next in line, because again they're looking into in some Korean studios, according to the rumor, is like Shift Up is not a secret because Project Eve was shown in a PlayStation showcase, right? And they were their employees were given like 260.
So
PS5.
Just before you continue, Akira, I just wanna no, don't apologize. It's awesome what you're saying. I just want to lay the foundation for listeners so they understand what we're actually talking about. So the question is, in summary, the thumbnail says Sony are not interested in publisher acquisitions. Well, it's a little bit of clickbait. Obviously they are interested, but they're more interested. We assume and we think, due to certain rumors, which Akira is going to dive into, that they're more interested in studios. There is a lot more power behind buying specific studios with specific goals in mind than acquiring big publishers for the sake of consolidation and monopolizing, and trying to one up the competition, which isn't a necessity for Sony, and we're going to explain why. So just before you carry on, Akira, I want to ask you, what are the names of these studios that you've heard through the grapevine? Because Akira's got sources, guys. Before you guys question the credibility of these sources, Akira lives in the East. He lives in Japan. He has a good connection with quite a few software engineers and developers who have worked in the gaming industry. And I know firsthand that his sources are quite trustworthy. So, with that in mind, without giving these sources away, Akira, I want to ask you, what are these studios that are rumored that Sony are interested in? Why? What games have those studios worked on? If you can try and break it down systematically for us all to understand. And then let's all discuss how what this means for Sony, so to speak.
Okay. So there have been, the rumors about acquisitions has been like a long time coming. Like, again, David, before I met David, I was talking to Princeton. David, like, I've been mentioning Blue Point for a long time, and then I've been mentioning House Marquee. Fire Sprite was unexpected to me because there's always those surprises, to be honest. But so recently, again, aside from China, with the China Hero project, Sony has been interested in Asia, which is South Korea is kind of like the next step. So some of the developers mentioned is, again, Shift Up, Project Eve. They mentioned, and this one was a surprise. NeoWiz. If you don't know NeoWiz, remember that Pinocchio Bloodborne trailer, Lies of P.
Lies of Peace.
Yeah, that's these are studio. This is a studio that's also, let's say, Sony is trying to look into if they can, like David said, build a relationship with the people. One more is Iggy Mob. If you remember Gungrave Gore, the sequel to Gungrave, Iggy Mob.
Gungrave.
The thing with Iggy Mob is they already have Japanese developers within them from the old Gungrave developers, and some Gungrave, Sony Japan studio developers. Just search Gungrave Gore gameplay, and the last one is I forgot the name of the last developer, but they're the developers of Little Devil Inside.
Oh, sweet.
They're also South Korean, by the way. I just discovered that, by the way, because of the rumor. They're South Korean.
This is Gungrave that I'm showcasing right now.
No, wait. You need to. No, that's the anime. You need to search Gungrave Gore, PlayStation 4. That's the anime, Wooly.
Gungrave Gore.
It's Gungrave is based on an anime from the creator of Trigun.
Oh shit.
And there was a game before from the PlayStation 2 games, and this is like a long awaited sequel after 2 generations, and it's made by South Korean developers with the ex-developers who worked on the original game before, and they're from Japanese developers. Ikumi Nakamura worked with these people, by the way, for the game design. By the way, David, also Arrowhead was mentioned. Arrowhead,
Yep, unheard.
the Helldivers developer. Ember Lab is not a secret anymore, right? They've been happy with Ember Lab ever since Kena released. However, the next in line that they might be looking into is Slow Clap, the seafood developers.
So Gungrave is a new game that's being developed, and Sony are...
Gungrave Gore is like a new game, but it's technically a sequel from the old games from the PlayStation 2.
And this is a confirmed PlayStation exclusive?
No. Gungrave Gore. Wait 1 sec. So Gungrave Gore is not really a PlayStation exclusive.
I've never seen this footage before, dude. I've never seen this game before. This is new to me. I've heard of Plan 8. I've heard of Crimson Desert. I've heard of Doke V. I've heard of Lies of P. But I've never heard of Gungrave Gore. Yeah. This is exciting, my dude.
All right. So Gungrave Gore right now is a multi-plat, but again, the developers, they're from South Korea. They have Japanese developers with them, the old Gungrave developers, and some ex-Sony Japan studio developers, I believe, a couple of them. And again, Ikumi Nakamura worked with these developers for the designs in the game.
This looks dope.
And by the way, is that the one with the gameplay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the one with the gameplay. Yeah. good. Yeah, dude.
It's how Guardians of the Galaxy should play.
I played this game on the PlayStation 2, the old ones, and again, this one looks like a faithful sequel, even though the developers are South Korean.
Have you seen this before, Social Destruct? Have you seen this game before?
Yeah, the Gone Grave. Yeah, I've seen it before. I saw the trailer a while ago.
I feel so out of touch.
Yeah. Akira, it's based on.
You played the original, the anime, from the Trigun creator, the Trigun creators.
It's based on a PS2, right? The Gone Grave.
Yeah, PlayStation 2. Yeah, 2 games for PlayStation 2, and
awesome.
one VR, one game on the VR, and so this are from Iggy Mob. They're South Korean developers, but they have the developers of the PlayStation 2 games of Gungrave. They have some of them in their studio now, and Ikumi Nakamura worked with them for the designs in the game. So again, they have some Japanese ties. So this one is not really a surprise because of the there is some Japanese ties to them, and they used to be a PlayStation exclusive. Now that I think about it, like Gungrave used to be a PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. So I would understand that, and again, slow clap the sequel developers, of course, because Ember Lab, and I hope they become happy as well, just like how Ember Lab made PlayStation happy. Remember that? Because they were happy with Ember Lab, and hopefully, dude, man, I want Sifu to succeed so much because it looks so damn cool. So I need it to succeed, man.
So back to go on, David.
I was going to say the easiest way to trigger Akira at the moment is if you want a negative reaction, mention Resident Evil. If you want a positive reaction, mention Sifu.
Facts. Honestly, he's like a dog with a bone. Honestly, and Sifu is the biggest motherfucking bone you've ever get offered. Yeah. Like I love Sifu. It's like a steak. It's like a steak for Akira.
But this is the thing, man, and I believe I also told it to David. Like I said, if you would make me choose between Chinese and South Korean developers, right? I would definitely, definitely hope for that they do more partnerships with South Korean developers, because the South Koreans are really big in gaming and in the entertainment industry. They're so passionate and they go all out when it comes to that. Like, look at their movies and series, man.
Bro, look at this. Just look at this clip. He twists this guy's head backwards, and
it's so cool.
It triggers off the electrical reactions in his fingers, makes him shoot his teammate, and then he drops dead.
Yeah,
that's some dark shit.
Yeah, but so again,
attention to detail.
Mate.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, again, so these are the few studios that were mentioned, and there are more, of course. It is as of this point, it's not really a surprise.
Gives me Darksiders vibes. Darksiders vibes. Yeah, meets God. What's it called? God Eater.
I'm sure, David, you saw the fire spread. How much they're growing right now, right? It's a insane pace. How much or how fast they're growing.
Oh yeah, Fire Sprite is the best way of saying this. They acquired Fire Sprite, and yes, it was out of the blue, but only because we're all looking at Japan and Southeast Asia. No one was looking at Europe at the time. And Sony, PlayStation had shifted a heap of money, and they're still doing it now. They're shifting a shirtload of money out of the US market and over into Europe. So a lot of the acquisitions that are coming aren't necessarily going to be in Asia. They're likely to be in Europe, very similar to what they've done with Fire Sprite.
Yeah. You saw, like, I mentioned Slow Clap, right? I mean, Slow Clap is also from France. Yeah, a lot of people are surprised about that because of the kung fu nature of Sifu. But yes, Slow Clap is a French studio. It's our developers who practice kung fu, and I think the guy who they do the motion capture with, I think he's a real, kung fu martial artist. Like, he practiced martial arts.
He is. Yep, yeah, and the other thing to take, just to wrap up on that point, was a lot of money going to Europe. There's a lot of shuffling happening around with some of the European senior production management and European leadership within Sony itself. So there's this it's the level beneath Helmet. It's the level beneath that senior production point. They're shifting a lot of people around. You see there's a lot of job advertisements that are up on Sony and as with Sony contractors. at a sort of senior management level where they're bringing on additional people to cover off on when these new teams come in, and
Yeah.
some serious people showing up in here. The other thing to note too is if you follow the notion that PlayStation buy relationships, I say buy relationships, they invest in relationships is a better way of putting it.
Invest, yeah. They invest in relationships.
Invest in relationships. So that one of the bosses at Arcane Lion, one of the heads there, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, sorry, he's recently left.
Yeah, he's making his own studio.
Making his
Who's
own
this?
studio.
Repeat this.
And
Who's left?
The ex-head of Arcane, Leon,
shit, yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was a big contact point for Deathloop. And as soon as Deathloop launched, he basically said,
You live.
I'm going to start my own studio. And
Studio.
there's been chatter around the financial circles
yeah,
that
it's like Haven.
he's already
Yeah.
got his funding. He left
Exactly.
with the funding ready to go, which means if the only people he's been talking to, it's certainly not Bethesda and Microsoft that's funding it, because it's coming, you don't throw money after somebody who just left your company. And the talk of the game that he wants to make fits perfectly in with what Sony PlayStation wants to do. So, and that's a big deal. That's he's walked off. He'll get his own team. He's got his own funding. Again, it's the same as like they did with Haven.
Haven and Deviation. Yeah.
Deviation games. You've got so, and if you follow where the money's going, you get a sense of what they're going to do. But just to touch back on what Akira's saying about South Korea. South Korea is I shouldn't say it's an easy get, but it's a prosperous place
Gold
for
mine, bro.
PlayStation to get involved in, and they can get involved quite easily with some of these acquisitions. And it fits in with what their broader market strategy is. Cracking into China is going to be difficult because of a lot of laws, actual laws between Japan and China, what can and can't be done. Cracking into China is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
But
China's difficult.
You get a sense of what's going to happen when you look at Sony Music just bought $100 million worth of NetEase Music shares. So there's a bit of, and NetEase is a Chinese company. So there's interactions happening there. Buying a publisher may be the only way they get into China. But then again, it's, there's laws and whatnot around that. But yeah, the main markets that they need to crack, or that they want to crack, if you just read what they say in their press releases. South Korea is a big one. China is a big one, just on sheer volume. So that Wukong.
Wukong's China. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wukong.
So the
Blackpink Wukong's from China. Yeah.
Yeah. So the publisher, the development house who's making that, and there's been some chatter in social media around, is it going to be Sony exclusive? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? I don't think it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive, but I know.
Yeah, because of Tencent, that one's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, Tencent and PlayStation have got a bit of a standoffish relationship at the moment, because Tencent's buying developers. Tencent's buying developers that Sony wasn't necessarily looking at anyway. So there's that go fast, go slow bit. Sony's got a bit of a tense relationship with Tencent at the moment, but it's very likely that they could get a deal, because Tencent's a Chinese company, that PlayStation may actually be able to get into the Chinese market through Tencent. There's a lot of chatter going on about whether that could or couldn't work in financial circles and what the impacts will have around that. But it's more of a Sony rather than PlayStation chat. So there's some other bits and pieces going on there. But the other one is Europe. PlayStation is big in Europe, but only certain countries. And Jim wants to make a big hit in a lot of these developing countries where people can afford these consoles. But, it is, if you follow where the money's going, there's a couple of countries in Asia, but there's a huge amount of money going into Europe at the moment. And I think that's where you'll find a lot of their development stuff is they'll probably buy a lot more of their development houses there. I'm pretty sure they know what they're going to do in Japan and Southeast Asia.
So yeah, apart from the reason why I can't mention more studios is because it went back. Remember those rumors when Sony's trying to build their own Japanese studio? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It went back to those rumors again. Sony is still looking into building these Japanese studios.
Mm-hmm.
That thing about the Europe, I've also heard about that. That Sony has been having this this focus on Europe recently. I don't know if it's because of Herman Holster or Jim Ryan, but they have this focus on Europe recently because it's just true. Like PlayStation is strong in Europe. It's just really true. And again, the goal of PlayStation, and ever since highlight in their last presentation, is they want to expand their reach. They want to expand their global reach, their global market. They already have a global market, but they just want to expand even more. I've never seen this much of expansion that they're doing because it seems like they want to make PlayStation a real worldwide global brand, like a really strong one. And
you were touching on Japan just before, bro. And whilst we're on that subject, I just wanna give a shout out to Jonathan Martinez in the chat. He's a little. He's saying that he's thinking about selling his PS5. Call it dramatic or not. Let's just take his point at face value. He was mentioning before his concern about PS5 kind of PlayStation ditching Japan and failing Japanese studios. And he mentioned Studio Japan. And I just want to hear from you guys, your guys' thoughts. And shout out to Chris, right? He's on the panel. He's just joined us. What's good, Chris? You okay, my bro?
What's going on, fella? Now I'm cooking right now, so I'm gonna be
no problem.
I'm listening.
Well, if you're listening, feel free to chip in at any point. But just want to ask for you guys' opinion, Akira, Chris, David, all you guys, you guys' thoughts on. Let me just ask the question. I know you're eager, but just for listeners' sake, has Sony failed Japan, or was Studio Japan kind of almost like was the writing on the wall with them? Were they closed? Were they written off? Were they a failure? And has Sony given up on Japan?
I'll go first, Chris. This has been, let's just say, this fear mongering has been really annoying recently, especially for someone like me who actually lives here. Because I don't know when this PS is leaving Japan behind narrative started, but it's just, no, it's not like that. It's just, let me tell you what the situation is. All right, so in Japan, it's a bit well known right now that gaming on the go is very popular, which is why Switch has been dominating the country. It's just the truth, right? And you got some, the hardcore gamers who still loves PlayStation are still here. They are still here, and they did lose touch. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and then halfway they start to ramp up again. So I would agree with the statement that PlayStation is leaving Japan, but on PlayStation 3. Not on 5, but on 3. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the funny thing about this is that they're ramping up on Japan again. Again, Herman Holst is the first ever person, ever since after the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 era, is the first person who mentioned that they want to get back into Japan. They want to get back to the Japanese legacy. That's awesome. Want to get back on the roots. He's the first person who said that.
Can I ask who's doing that? Who's focusing on developing relations in Japan and productivity and productivity?
He's the best person for the job. His name is Kichiro Orata. I really hate that people are fucking sleeping on this guy. This guy is such an.
Let me Google him. Who's Kichiro? Can you give me his name to me?
Kichiro Orata, Kichiro The fact that this guy is hired by Sony it's the only sign you need that they didn't leave Japan alone. It's the only sign you fucking need.
Oh shit! Because look at this article. Erstwhile Capcom CEO Kichiro Orata is leading Sony's partner development relations division.
Yeah.
By the way, one sec. The truth teller, shut the fuck up. Like this is some
Come on, give me
bullshit that
some-
you're saying. Don't even don't do
What
that.
the hell?
Don't do that.
What did he
Don't
say?
do that. He said that
looks like the Japanese
Japanese
are
are
somewhat
mad at Sony because headquarters moved to California. What the fuck do you think about Japanese people? What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's cap. That's cap. Come on, truth. Keep it real.
Nah,
bro.
but what people need to understand, like Akira said, like Japan has definitely shifted more towards mobile. And Sony no longer does handhelds and stuff like that no more, right? They still have the home console, so obviously the market has completely shifted over.
Sorry, one sec, Chris. Who are these people, Jonathan, that are saying that people don't trust Kishiro Arata? That's the most insulting thing that you can say to this person. Kishiro Arata is one of the most beloved people in Japan when it comes to the game industry. Everybody loves this guy. This guy was, you know what? You know why you have a lot of Japanese games in the West? You have this guy to thank for. Kishiro Arata worked very hard to bring so many Japanese games to the West and bring Western games to Japan. This man is one of the main reasons why a lot of people in the West has Japanese games right now. How can you say that you cannot trust this man? How can you say that you cannot trust this man because of some hearsay some people say? That's just not how it works, man.
That's on fanboy. That guy. That's on fanboy shit. That's fanboy talking tactics when they be like, "Oh, the Japanese are mad" and stuff like that because right here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Platinum Games, right? They said this in January of 2021, right? But Platinum Games, which is Kamiya and Inaba, right? When they was talking about how Sony becoming more Western and stuff like that, right? And this is what Inaba had to say. Let me see if I get it right here. Right, as far as like Sony becoming more Western or abandoning Japan, right? Inaba says, to be honest, we don't feel it we don't feel that much, or we don't feel it at that much, or at least I haven't felt the impact of it myself. That being said, I do understand that the console industry in Japan is not what it used to be, and when that happens, the priorities of these big console makers will change, and it makes perfect sense to me. He then added, I don't know if this is an opinion that's out there, and I don't have any personal investment, but just because PlayStation is from Japan doesn't mean it should focus only on the Japanese market. I don't feel that way. At the same time, I don't think it's American now either. I think it's international, and it doesn't really belong to any country. That's how I feel as a developer. And then Kamiya says, then he says, however, I do understand the perspective that if we start seeing release schedules prioritizing the US over Japan, then that will be frustrating, I'm sure. And I'm not going to tell Japanese fans that's how it is. Deal with it, which that hasn't happened at all. All of the games and PlayStation even launched the same day as Japan, which the PS4 launched after it launched in America, right? But it launched in Japan in the same way. And then Kamiya says maybe you're aware that up until the PS4, the default confirm button has always been circle, was an X, blah blah blah. Oh, he's not talking about it. Okay, he says, to me, this doesn't feel like Japan versus US thing. My pride isn't hurt as a Japanese person. It's just more that there are two camps who had two ways of doing things, and I think they've short-sighted, leaned one way. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. Hold on, he's talking about something else. No, he was talking about something else. But anyway, whatever. Right. Pretty much what they're saying is they don't even as Japanese developers, they don't feel like PlayStation is abandoning them or there's not going to do dealings with them at all. Whatever they're just saying is like, hey, the market has shifted. Consoles aren't really a huge thing like it once was over here in Japan, like during the PS2 or whatever. So Sony, as a business, they obviously have to shift priorities. So sometimes it may seem like they're abandoning or shunning Japan or whatever, but that's not really what they're doing, because they're also putting money back into Japanese developers. They're also doing a lot of deals with Japanese developers. They're getting Square Enix, Atlas to have exclusive games as well. They're funding Japanese indie games. They're putting money into different Japanese companies or whatever. And like what Akira says, it feels like they're actually trying to put more effort into Japan than they were during the PS3 and the PS4. My bad. Go ahead.
I want to hear David, Wilhelm, and Social Destruct's view on this.
Yeah.
But first, I just want to say from a layman's perspective, what I'm seeing is this, right? I feel like Studio Japan cannot be used as an example to spell doom and gloom for Sony. Some articles have written that. Incredibly unprofessional articles have written this kind of doom and gloom narrative for Sony because they closed down, in quotes, Studio Japan. But when you actually break it down, they merely relocated the staff there. And Studio Japan, you've got to be objective here. From a business standpoint, they were failing Sony in many of the projects they were doing. They worked fantastic as a support studio, bringing out some of the most successful games there were on PlayStation 4, some of the most successful exclusives, but their own first-party titles, like Last Guardian, and I'm trying to
development hell. I'm trying
to think of the other Studio Japan game. I'm
gonna tell.
Gravity Rush. Yeah, those games didn't sell at all. They didn't even break even. So and for the costs that 10 years development brought, like that game, Last Guardian, it would have needed to sell millions upon millions to have made back the cost of 10 years development. So you can't tell me that the writing wasn't on the wall with the studio. They worked great as a support studio, and it was time to bring some of the talent to a new studio, new name, new start, whilst using other staff from that studio to support other studios, adding to the team base, to the units. It makes sense.
To add on to Studio Japan, right? They were having a lot of development trouble. And listen, I love Studio Japan. I love all their games, Legend of Dragoon and stuff like that. But they were taking a lot of time. They were taking a lot of resources. The work environment in Studio Japan. No, the work environment was actually pretty toxic because they were fighting for resources internally. They weren't efficient, right? And this is not me bashing Studio Japan. This is just laying down the facts of what's going on, right? And the Last Guardian took almost 10 years to make, and Gravity Rush didn't really sell that much or whatever. So like I wish Sony would have never I wish Sony would have rather just restructured, which they did, right? They restructured them to Team Asobi, but I still think I wanted that legacy name, right? Studio Japan, because it's such a legacy name. But I think now, since Sony's trying to go more global and be a more international brand, they probably don't want to have that, this is a Japanese company only or whatever. They want, Studio Japan or Asobi to make games for, the world, worldwide appeal and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe my bad, Akira. Go ahead. I'll shut up.
So I just want to say I've been really, annoyed about this shit. Like I voiced my frustration about people speaking for Japan or Japanese people. Like this dude, Truth Teller, is saying that the Japanese people are mad at Sony because they moved to California. What the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Like, how do people, or these people from the West, how do they project as Japanese people as like we don't like America, like we don't like American products, like something like that? It's not like that. It's such a fair reason to get mad at the company at, and it's really not like that. You can already say that Sony is not supporting Japan a lot, but please do not speak for what the Japanese people feel, because it's not how it is.
What I will say, just echoing Akira's point before we hear David Faulkner's and Wilhelm's view on all things going on in Japan and East Asia, and why the gaming space, with primarily PlayStation's focus, what their thoughts are on PlayStation's focus on the Southeast Asia and Japan, and are we seeing a resurgence in the gaming space, and their thoughts on it and the reasons why. Before we touch on that, I just want to say in Akira's defense, basically the Truth Teller in the chat, dude, respect your opinion, but at the same time, your opinion is based on ignorance and is based on a lack of information. And the whole point of this podcast is to bring about information from credible sources. That's why I made this podcast in the first place, right? Like, you've got David Faulkner, who's a financial analyst to the top. He's given financial analytics to the top 20 some of the top 20 businesses in the world, right? And then you've got people like DZ, who's a game developer, right? He knows firsthand how the way that these games are made. You've got Leviathan Gamer, who's a software engineer. And you've got Akira, who lives in Japan. He's a first point of call for information that before even journos here, that everybody follows, millions of people know about. He knows about it before they do, in a lot of cases. So you've got to respect the fact, my dude, that the sources that we have on this show know the shit that we don't, which is why they're here on the panel. So have a little bit of respect, right? Have a little bit of respect for Akira and for what he's saying.
Sorry, the things that upsetting me the most is that, again, these people trying to speak for Japanese people, they're painting us in such a bad light. Like, it's like they're painting us that we hate American products, like we hate Sony went to California. What the fuck is that? That is so, we're not, they're paying us like these fucking, I don't know, racist people that hates American companies or products. It's just not like that. It's not like that. And the way you said it is like that. You said Japanese people are mad at Sony is because they moved to California. No, we love American products. We fucking love Apple. We actually love Microsoft products because we love our computers. We like American companies. We like, as long as their products have use for us. So please stop this bullshit or spreading this bullshit that Japanese people are mad at Sony because they moved to California. It's such an ignorant thing to say. And it's really making me mad.
It also implies a racial animosity on Japan's part against America, which doesn't exist. You don't have a racial animosity against.
We don't.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a generalized blanket statement that I know he apologized and said, I didn't mean to disrespect Akira. It's not, that might be true, dude, and we know that, but generalized statements that you made there are a little bit ignorant.
But Japanese people, man, like, yeah, exactly. it's like if somebody else read that and they don't know nothing about Japan, they're gonna think Japanese people are racist. Like, come on, man, like this ignorance about the Japanese people has been pissing me off because, we don't, for example, if I didn't know how to speak English and I find out that this is how other people in the world see us, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, mate. Go on, David. What were you going to say, my dude?
I got a couple of points to make. But the first one is I'm going to have to get going in about 10 minutes.
No problem, brother.
Oh, good,
apologies for that.
No, don't apologize. I'm super grateful for the time that you've taken to be here.
So I'll rattle through these few things and hopefully there's not too many questions once I'm finished. But firstly, and I don't want to carry on with it too much more, but like Akira's saying, the fact that Sony did or didn't go to California, and what does that matter? Well, I'll put it to you this way: when you go down to the shops down the street, wherever you go, you ever notice how a lot of the food shops are in the same place and a lot of the clothing shops are around each other and supermarkets are all close to each other? There's a reason for that. You need to be near your main competition and your head offices. You notice how all the banking head offices are all within the same area in a major city? There's a reason for that. You need to be near your main competition, not just so you can see and hear what they're doing because of the chatter on the street, but so you can see and hear who's looking to leave, who's looking to move, who's looking for an opportunity. If you're on the other side of the world, compared to who you see as your main competition for various different reasons, you're going to miss out.
Facts.
But Sony's got a head office in Japan. Sony is a Japanese company. That's it. Full stop. PlayStation, head office, Japan. PlayStation Studios has its main head office in California. So does every other main game developer on the planet. That's where their main head offices are. So, and they all those bosses, and I tell you this with 1,000,000% certainty, all the senior bosses of every major company in the world, whatever industry they're in, they all get together frequently and they talk like friends. I shit you not. Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer and I can't remember the bloke who's in charge of North America, Nintendo at the moment, but and the guy that's from Valve, like, they all get together and talk frequently because they are the main custodians of an industry, and they have to work harmoniously together. One can't go and self-destruct the whole industry because the whole lot will come down. So this whole idea of, they've gone to California so they've abandoned Japan, that's bullshit. They've just relocated where certain things are for strategic and business industry reasons. So that argument is null and void. Get it out of the planet. Doesn't exist. Japan Studios. Japan Studios was being utilised for what XDev currently is now in its new structure. But previously, XDev was based in Europe and looked after Europe and Western stuff. And the XDev work being done for Japan and Asia was being done out of Japan Studios. That's a very poor utilisation of some very key talent. It led to a lot of their senior talent and management actually leaving Japan Studios to strike out on their own or to go work somewhere else. When you lose those relationships out of the business, and again, Sony and PlayStation invest in individuals, when they leave, what are you left with? You can either promote people up the chain to take over and do XDev work, or you can take those people and put them in XDev and let the management at XDev, who already know what they're doing, continue on that work. Take the developers, give them the team a Sobe, let them do what they want to do to the extent of what they need to do, and then when you're getting absolutely dog-walked in a market because you don't have the big powerhouse studio there that you used to have, because the taste for games, the desire for games, the structure of games, the whole thing has changed from console-based, family-orientated gaming to personalised on-the-go gaming. Don't discredit this. This is a massive shift in what type of games need to be made. If you've got that shift happening, what the hell are Japan Studios there to do then? So you might as well take a massive overhead and restructure it. Now there were some contracts that were not extended, but a lot of those people weren't extended at Japan Studios. They now work for XDev, or they're working over for someone else. I know a few of them actually went to Capcom, and then they're coming back with the guy from Capcom coming back over to Sony. So that's part of the business structure, restructuring of it, right? Now, if you've got, and this sort of branches into this handheld discussion. Sony makes a console you hook into a TV. That might only be one console for a household. Now, I don't know the first thing about how households work in Japan. I've never been there, so Akira would be better to talk to it than I am. But I understand how when you can sell a console into a household, you only want to buy one and hook it up to one TV. You might have 4 or 5, maybe 6 people playing that one console. If you've got to build something that goes from kids to older adults, and you need to have games that go from kids to older adults that work on that one console. Now, why is Nintendo absolutely belting the pants off PlayStation in most parts of the world where mobile gaming is a big thing? Nintendo built a console that you can move. Nintendo build games that are specialized for people on the go. You're never going to get Animal Crossing on a console like PlayStation, because the people that play Animal Crossing, they jump on there for 10, 15-minute train ride, or they jump on there for 15 minutes while they're waiting in line. Bugger all people are going to sit in front of a TV on a PlayStation for 80 to 100, 120 hours playing something like Animal Crossing. Playing something like Mario Kart. No. It's games for situations, right? And that's the big shift that Sony's. They missed it in the PlayStation 4, but it was only due to the timing of it. When the PS4 Pro came out, that's when the big shift globally went from, you look at how the Switch sells. The Switch
it was
sells
Horizon
like
Forbidden West, wasn't it? No, sorry, Horizon Zero Dawn that advertised the PS4 Pro for a reason.
Yeah. When Nintendo launched the Switch off the back of the Wii U, it went to...
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry, David.
Sorry, it went all right for a little bit. It didn't go gangbusters. It went all right, but then all of a sudden, there's this... you look at the sales charts, there's a massive shift, and it goes absolutely berserk. There's a massive jump. Something happened, not just in Japan, but in some of the other major markets as well. Something happened, and there was a massive jump in Switch sales, and it's taken off since then. And it's at that same time, mobile gaming got a massive kick. So the transition in the market, or it's just like it clicked then, and it took off, and that was around the same time as the PS4 Pro came out, and Sony didn't have a chance to pivot when you're that far invested into launching a console and the games to go with it. So they are 2 or 3 years behind the ball when the 5 came out, and Nintendo's made no secret of the fact that they want to have a console of a Switch in every. If there was one in the house 4 years ago, they want one in every person's hands in that house. So if there's, say there's 10 million PS4s in Japan. I can't remember what the number is off the top of my head, but if they sold 10 million PS4s in Japan and they've sold 30 million or 40 million Switches, there's one PS4 in every household. There might be 3 or 4 Switches in that household. So to say that that Sony's getting spanked and is losing out in Japan just because you pointed at Nintendo numbers, that's lying. It is straight out lying because you're not diving into the numbers and explaining them properly. Now, is PlayStation failing in Japan? I don't think so. Is PlayStation not the powerhouse it used to be? Well, yeah, definitely, because they've got that limitation. They're never going to sell 30, 40, 50 million consoles in Japan. That just ain't going to happen. What's a good number for PlayStation in Japan? If they get to 20 million by the end of the life cycle, that's great. I think 20 million is a really good number. But
it's already a good number.
Nintendo usually wins on the console sales in terms of volume and dollars most of the time. PlayStation dog walks Nintendo in terms of revenue from sales of gaming. Yeah, there's different reasons for that. But Nintendo's rarely puts anything on sale, but their games that they put out there, Monster Hunter, I can't remember what the latest one was called now.
Japanese people love them. Japanese people love their games. Yeah, it's just a truth.
Monster Hunter is designed to go mobile. That game on the Switch is designed to go mobile. If you put that game on a PlayStation, no one will like it, because it's not designed for that short, sharp 10, 15, 20, 30-minute session. You're moving around somewhere. PlayStation's games, and they're going to have a hard time doing this on a home console, they have to develop games for people that want to sit for 2, 3, or 4 hour sessions. Rarely does anyone ever pick up their PlayStation when they're not doing a multiplayer thing and say, I'm just going to do quick 15 minutes on the PlayStation, on the couch. They go, it's easier to just pick up the Switch and do it. So there's those issues there. Mm-hmm. That feeds into the other point I wanted to make before I have to go is Sony's pumping out a lot of stuff that looks like they're going to do another handheld. That they're going to do another handheld piece. I don't think, and this is from my perspective of what they're saying and the moves they're making with who they're hiring and what they're talking about, I don't think Sony's going to make a Vita 2. I think what you'll find, Sony's ramping up big time. Don't be. It's okay. Sony is ramping up big time in their mobile gaming department. They're hiring people left, right, and centre. They've got the head of mobile gaming for Apple. They hired that person to build a team. The person who built amazing. Apple Arcade is now at Sony to build a mobile gaming team. And they are hiring people left, right, and centre all over the world. Now, what is something that Sony makes that Nintendo don't, and that Microsoft currently don't?
Mobile phones.
They make a phone, not just a phone. They make a phone that would dog walk an iPhone. It would absolutely belt the pants off an iPhone. Now, if you've got that phone available and you want to put gaming on that phone, imagine got a 4K screen. What do?
Wow!
You just come up with that little handheld portable controllers, and all of a sudden, bang.
Bro, you're leading us into, which is such a shame that you got to go. You're leading us into the next topic, literally showing the blueprint that's been recently leaked.
David. Sorry, David. Before you go, you know Kishiro Arata, right?
Yes.
Can you give an insight to people, in a way that they would understand who this man is? Because I really don't understand why they don't understand who this man is.
What exactly do you want me to give him an insight?
No, I mean, used to do why he's so beloved, Because I don't know, I'm gonna get through to these people. Maybe it's the accent, man. Maybe it's your accent. I don't know. They're listening to you. They're listening to
Sorry, I've just drawn a complete blank. I actually had something up here on my screen to talk specifically about.
it's all good, man.
Let's we'll have you break that down if you want, Akira, in a bit. But Dave, break down what you wanna say, bro, because your time's almost up.
Sorry about that, David, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I'm just a bit lost for words because there's so much stuff I just want to throw out. I'll put it in a blanket. This guy, I'll put it in terms people can understand. He is to Japanese gaming at a minimum, and I don't mean to disrespect him by saying this, but so simpletons can understand this. He is to Japanese gaming what Phil Spencer currently is to Xbox.
Oh shit!
He is.
He is God.
he is the way that they portray him. Right now, he's done so much. He is so much more than Phil. This guy, he brought, like you said, he took Japanese games to the West. He brought Western games to Japan. He oversaw Capcom when they were absolutely getting poleaxed and had no direction, and he turned them into the powerhouse they are now. Akira loves Resident Evil games. A lot of them are because of this man. People in the West get Resident Evil stuff because of this man. People in Europe get a lot of it because of this man.
And who said that that people don't trust him?
They said people are trying.
Like, what?
If you're going to sit there and say, don't trust this man, he's not going to do well, then you might as well put your hand up and say, hey, guess what? I know nothing about video games and their history, full stop, end of story. If you're going to rank people outside of the big three in terms of...
Oh, David, bro, if you can hear me, you've just cut off.
You've just got no clue.
You've just cut off then, but I think you...
Oh, no, he didn't cut off. I think that was you, Willie.
Was that me? Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Yeah,
he didn't cut off.
If you want to talk about a powerhouse team to lead a company in doing something in gaming, think about who PlayStation currently have. You've got Harada, got Shuhei Yoshida, and they've got... oh, crap, I can't remember his name now. He's now the head of. He's not an external facing person. He's an internal facing person, but he's in charge of the mobile. Mobile division.
He's not the Apple dude, right?
The Apple Arcade guy?
No, it's not the Apple dude. It's a different guy because the Apple dude's in charge of external growth. This guy I'm thinking is in terms of internal game development. I can't remember his bloody name. Sorry, but those three, and he comes with a pedigree. The guy I can't think of comes with a pedigree because he's worked at some of the biggest mobile gaming places that have made billions of dollars off mobile gaming. So they come with a pedigree, and those three, if you're talking about making a change to the foundation of the gaming world, those three are the ones you'd want. I can't speak highly enough of how big a deal it is that they are in the one building.
And Sony have their hands on all of these guys, right?
The pillars of Japanese gaming is in one building, and again, I don't know why people don't understand.
And that building is, and let's just summarize, what is that building?
It's Sony.
There you go.
Sony's head office in Japan.
So we've got Kiichiro Urata. Who else? Shuhei Yoshida, who is an absolute pioneer in terms of indie gaming and all things Southeast Asian. He's at the forefront of reaching out to all these developers, right?
Yeah, so Shuhei's basically got a blank checkbook to go and engage with whichever independence he wants.
That's incredible. And who's the third guy?
That's where a lot of your acquisitions are going to come from.
And he's a clever man.
Having those, yeah. Well, he basically did what Herman's doing at the moment. The third guy's name, which I'm just trying to find at the moment because I can't remember it off the top of my head, and I apologise.
Makes me laugh. Ultra just put, I like Jim Ryan. That made me laugh. And I was like, we're talking about these guys, and he's like, Jim Ryan.
It's his last name is Kuzumoto. I think it's his last name. Akihiro.
Akihiro
Kuzumoto?
Kazumoto. That sounds pretty cool.
He's
Okay,
in
we'll go
charge
with
of
that.
entertainment, something like that. But he's got his pedigree is brilliant. So put them all in one place and just let them do their thing. And it's not going to be overnight. This stuff is going to be, the patent's coming through for this handheld thing. They've got the phone there already. They just
Yeah, it'll take a few years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they've got the phone, they've got the technology, and they've got the hardware. It's the games and the game infrastructure that's going to take a couple of years. Now, I think it's more advanced than most people think. I reckon it is more advanced than most people think because they're talking about it a lot more in their press releases and they're showing it a lot more in what kind of people they're hiring. So they're not just saying, we need somebody to look at setting up this division. We've already got the division structure there. We want people to fill the division out. Mobile games don't take 3, 4, 5 years to build. Mobile games can be built in 12 to 18 months. Mm-hmm. PlayStation's got a huge amount of money invested in their cloud streaming infrastructure. They've got stuff they've done with Microsoft.
Well, you've got remote play, and remote play has almost like a what do you call it? Like it's got a robustness to it because it's directly connecting to your PS5 via the internet, via mobile data, and running off the PS5's hardware. So it's got this 1080p 60 FPS robustness to it, which you can't really get at the moment with xCloud, right?
No, that's right. And they've got a large amount of infrastructure in key markets, but it's not worldwide. We don't have PS Now in Australia because the internet connection down here is shit. Mm-hmm. It won't run it. It's horrendous. I mean, it's in my own house. I can use remote play at the other end of the house, and it gets a little clunky, and it doesn't even have to go through the internet outside of my house. It's just that's how crappy it is. But they've got huge amounts of infrastructure in the key markets where mobile gaming and gaming on the go is the market they need to crack. Japan, South Korea, a lot of Asian markets, same with a lot of European markets, and America. There's certain other markets that they want to crack into, for example, India and some of the Eastern European countries. They'll come down the line, way down the line. Mm-hmm. But they've got the hardware, they've got the infrastructure. They
really love
games.
I really love the Sorry. Sorry, Matt.
No, you're right. I'm just going to finish up by saying they're talking about it as a business strategy now. In 2 to 3 years' time, it will start funneling through into the numbers. You will start to see PlayStation Studios on a mobile game, and if you've got a Sony phone, you can play it at 4K 60 or 4K 120 or whatever it is with this handheld controller to go with it.
Consider me sold on the next Xperia, bro. Bro, I just want to say a huge thank you, David. It's been absolute gold dust what you've brought tonight, and so honoured to have you. I think we can all say, the whole panel, it's been electric having you with us, and really appreciate all your input. It's been another HD gamer. You've definitely, the two of you, Aussies are representing 100%, and extremely blessed and honoured that you're here. For those who don't follow David Faulkner on Twitter, please make sure you do. You can follow him at Faulky87. That's Faulky87. That's FAULKIE 87. Be sure to follow him. He is definitely a source to follow. And thank you so much for being here, my dude.
Yeah, David. Before you go, man, I really like what you said. Kishiro Rata is Phil Spencer to Xbox and he is to Japanese.
Honestly,
game.
the way you broke it down made everybody listen and made everybody go, oh shit, right, okay, yeah, this is definitely something to take seriously. David's basically pointed out tonight how much infrastructure is being built up by Sony behind the scenes that we know very little about, but is happening and will bear fruit very, very soon. Guys, for those who are worried about Sony in Japan and restructuring Japan's studio, it's all fear-mongering by people who don't who just want to put Sony down, who want to put PlayStation down because it's not their preferred platform. But if you really break it down, you have nothing to be concerned about. There is a lot of investment going on behind the scenes, as David has shown, as Akira has explained too, and as Chris Righteous has touched on. and we can all be excited about what's coming. And you know what? The idea of really amazing, very regular stream of mobile games, kind of spin-offs, whilst it not being their main focus but being supplementary, is pretty cool as well. It'll be definitely exciting to strap a DualSense around my mobile and be playing these native mobile games that are made specifically for that platform with AAA production value, which is pretty awesome to consider. But David, my dude, thank you so much for all the time that you've taken. We appreciate you, and we would love to have you on again soon.
You're very welcome. Have a safe and good evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. Just, keep safe and enjoy.
Have a
You
great
too,
day,
man.
my
Take
brother.
care.
Thank you, David. Take care, bro.
Bye, David.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, I need to ask something, man. Like, is this Truth Teller dude an Xbox fan?
Probably,
Like,
but that's fine.
It's been spreading some false information, man. Like, Sega never mentioned Xbox.
Bro, look at his
Like,
profile pic.
Look,
It's
man,
the 20th
look, man.
Xbox anniversary.
Sega needed to look, man. Sega needed to make a second article. They need to make a second article because people fail to understand that the deal is between Microsoft and Sega and Azure. You know what's the funny part? In Japan, they announced this Azure Microsoft Sega partnership, right? It was on the news actually. So they announced it was on the news, it was on newspapers, the magazine was on articles, and then they mentioned that it's Microsoft, Sega, and Azure, and then we just found out from the internet that for some people, for some reason in the West, they're thinking that it's an Xbox Sega acquisition, which is why Sega needed to write a second article for dummies, for simpletons to understand that there's nothing to do with Xbox. Like, they literally wrote down that this is not about Xbox getting exclusives. That they literally need to write that down for the idiots.
Let's summarize this. Let's summarize this. It's not. Not everybody's an idiot. People have read this at face value because of journos spinning this in a certain way as well. Or should I say, people with high followings like Andrea Picellini and these self-proclaimed journalists who have huge followings and huge clout on Twitter for just bullshit in their way to success, right? And they say things that with zero accountability for the shit that they say, and they make big claims. 1 + 1 = 11. Rockstar plus Xbox are acquiring Rockstar. How many of these guys said that shit? Now, don't be silly. What you ended up getting was an energy drink. A freaking energy drink, right? Don't repeat the same mistakes. If you listen to these guys, they cat through the roof, they speculate, and they put that speculation as fact. If you're going to fall for this shit, then fool on you, right? Fool on you. But if you want to kind of push these narratives, that just remember what's happened in the past, right? Don't forget, you got an energy drink when people were capping. People with huge followings were telling you Xbox could be acquiring Rockstar, and you all ran with it. So let's just keep things in perspective, right? And don't make a fool of yourself. Let's keep things real. The fact is that all Sega have put out is a clarification because of the misinformation. That's all they've put out. They haven't put out anything about their partnership with Microsoft except a clarification telling you guys, no, this does not mean exclusive games for Xbox, because everybody else was telling you this means exclusive games for Xbox. So just bear in mind that these guys that you follow on Twitter, they're not insiders. The guys with a huge amount of clout because they cap for your preferred console and they tickle your ears and you like what you listen to, you like what you read, you like what they say. But that shit that they say isn't necessarily true. A lot of the times it's not. It's exaggerated for the sake of views, likes, clicks, clickbait. It's what they do. So don't be taken for a mug, alright? And we'll leave it at that. Moving on to the next topic. David Faulkner amazingly brought us to this awesome next topic quite smoothly in regards to mobile gaming. Is Sony prepping for mobile gaming? It's pretty much answered that, but I just want to hear, Social, would you pick this up if this was a legit thing? Would you pick up the new Sony phone if it's capable of running games at high fidelity and these and are you kind of for like the Sony going down a mobile gaming route on the side? What's your thoughts?
I'm not into mobile gaming, Wooly, at all. I mean, I'm really not. So I don't want to make a comment on something I'm not really into. I see it as a future. I mean, I'm not saying it's a non-platform. I mean, it's obviously going to have, you know, people that are going to play on that platform. But it's just mobile gaming. It's just never been a thing for me.
Facts.
So
yeah.
I don't want to go into
What if you had a
details.
sexy dual sense? What if you had a sexy dual sense that's slotted around your phone, nice and sexy, and they gave like a isometric God of War game that looked gorgeous, had high production value, was 7 hours long, cost you $8.99, and took 18 months to make, cost $6.99, and is available for everybody to buy on I don't know,
If they could
on
push
phone.
that tech forward on mobile, Wooly, then I would consider it.
Wooly should sell products, man. Like, he knows how to sell products.
Did you know I got salesman?
It
I got
worked,
salesman of the year award at Virgin Trains.
Hell yeah.
I won this. I won this big plaque for the most
you
sales.
can get that on the device. I mean, you
Like-
can get on
like-
a mobile device and get that tech.
Like, you heard social, man. Like, he was about to buy it. Like, where is it? Like, is it?
Yeah, I know.
is it
He
really-
like wanted it. He went straight from hell no to take my money, bitch. No, facts social.
Oh, man.
I'm 100% with you on board. If Sony are able to make that hardware, I would be all over that bad boy. But they would have to. They'd have to not have it like typical sleazy mobile gaming, but make quality. But it's clever. It's clever, right? It's a clever strategy if they do it that way.
Not just make shovelware, but actually good software.
Facts.
Like not just
Yeah,
that type of.
I'm 100% with you on that, social man. No, facts. What about you, Chris? Or Wilhelm?
No, my bad. It really depends. It depends on the type of games they make. If a big incentive for me would definitely be having my account tied to my PSN and those games having trophies.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be a big incentive to me. And obviously,
Dude, we should pitch all this.
Yeah, and obviously if the peripherals that they came out with, right, like they have some peripherals that you attach to the phone from the patent that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
If that's compatible with everything, like if it's compatible with my iPhone, I mean, I'm definitely willing to give, you know, more, because like what's his name was saying, I'm not into mobile gaming as well unless there's some, you know, compelling games, like a compelling RPG or a compelling game that's dedicated to mobile and specifically built with like the mobile in mind, because I wouldn't want to play God of War 2018 on my mobile phone. Like, nah, like I'm not doing console games on mobile. That's definitely not happening.
100%.
But if they're able to build compelling games based off of some of their IPs, and you can link your PSN and you can earn trophies on the go and stuff like that, I'm open minded to it. You know, I don't see an issue, and I also think this is them also trying to make sure that they still have a good market and a good foothold in countries like Japan that are more mobile centric nowadays.
True.
So,
But just
Wooly,
imagine Go on, Akira.
Sorry, I need to go real quick. I need to do something real quick. I'll try to be back. Right? I
No
need
worries,
to
dude.
do something.
Hope
Thanks,
you make
man.
it back, bro. No worries. Catch you soon.
Thank you. Catch you soon.
So just imagine that, guys, right? An isometric God of War in gorgeous visuals, like holy shit, this is a mobile game. But the new Sony phones could run it. You had obviously graphical options for older phones, like I know that my S20 one would be able to run it on a maybe medium high settings, whatever, right? But it was made specifically for mobile. It only took 18 months to make, a relatively smaller studio who were very skilled, who were very competent, and it cost $6 or $8.99, right? And it's available to billions of people to buy. That is a really strong monetary supplement for Sony to take advantage of alongside the console gaming space. And it would be pretty awesome for us as well to have another God of War to enjoy on the go. I mean, it would be like the best of what Nintendo Switch offers, but obviously maybe not to the same degree. But it would be a really good it would be a really good supplement. I'm all for that. I think that would be awesome. What I don't want is for them to go kind of the sleazy monetization route like Halo Infinite ironically has gone, even though that's a console game. I don't want mobile games to be like that, right? I don't want mobile games to be, pay to win. Even though Halo Infinite isn't pay to win, fair play to Halo Infinite, that is not pay to win. I want to emphasize that. But a lot of mobile games are. MMOs, they literally drag you out to the point where you're grinding your life away until you agree to buy a founder's pack and shit like that. I'd much rather they just sell the game. Yeah, gotcha games. I'd much rather they just sell the shit for $8.99 or something and give you a quality experience. And I think Sony would do that, I don't know. I can't say for sure. I hope they do. And I hope PlayStation is directly involved in that, and it's not a different branch of Sony or SIE.
But they just establish a PlayStation Mobile division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a PlayStation brand mobile division, so it is PlayStation.
Oh, facts. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And just to repeat what we're talking about here, look at this thumbnail, top right corner. See that blueprint that's being shown? Let me hide Discord for you guys to see. There we go. This is a real blueprint on a patent showcasing what looks like to be a mobile phone in between two handles that extend on either end. Similar to this gadget that I've got, cost me like 50 quid. It's well overpriced if you ask me. But Razer do a lot of these kind of things, but they don't work for every game. The game has to be deliberately programmed to work with these tools. But this would be awesome if made and curated for bespoke PlayStation mobile games. And, with the quality DualSense controls, the analog sticks, it would just be awesome. I'm totally down for it, my dudes. I think it would just be great. I would even prefer it even more if it was a native device, a native mobile device, and not mobile phone focused, but it was like a Vita 2.0. But to be honest, I think it would be more clever business-wise to go the mobile route, because let's face it, everybody has one. Not everybody has a Switch, you know what I mean? So
if they did what you just mentioned, Wooly, I would pre-order.
Shout out to Gadget. You are completely right. And that's Facts Social. I would pre-order too. Shout out to Zubitech. Zubitech was on this show, and I'm gonna get him on again whenever he's down for it. It was his first ever podcast, and he joined us. I think it was episode 12 that he joined us. And Zubitech's awesome. He's one of my favourite dudes on Twitter, and I've followed him for a long time. And this was tweeted out by him. I want to give him credit where credit's due. Be sure to follow Zubitech on Twitter. You can find him. I'm just going to get his name up. If you type in at Zuby, that's ZUBY _tech. I'll type it in the chat now for you guys. Zuby Tech. Follow him on Twitter. He's an awesome dude, and he lets people know shit before everybody else knows shit. In fact, journos who pretend to be insiders often use him as their source, which is awfully ironic, wouldn't you agree? So Zuby, follow him. He keeps up to date with everything and is worth a follow. But yeah, shout out to him, and thank you, Gadget, for mentioning him. That's such a good point. Zuby definitely deserves the credit for this. He shared out this patent. Sorry, carry on, Social. What were you going to say, my dude? Social?
No, go ahead, Willie. It's my mic. It was me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go.
No,
yeah, no problem.
It cut off then. But yeah, follow Zuby. But yeah, this looks kind of like a mobile game, a gaming supplement, like using for mobile phones. But this is a patent Sony put out very recently that Zuby leaked on Twitter. Zuby Tech leaked, and it's showing a really bespoke very high quality DualSense-esque controller for the mobile phone, and that's and also this brick attached to the monitor. What is that? I don't know what that is. Do you guys know? Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen the blueprint, so.
Okay, so
It was the peripherals that you can attach to the phone, right? Like the controller setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like a block that you attach to your screen, like almost like a dock.
Is it a docking station or what?
It looks like a docking station if you look at the thumbnail here on YouTube. I've got the thumbnail up. You can see it. It attaches to the monitor. And I've been trying to find any information on it as to what it is, but I'm not quite sure. But I'm kind of confused what that runs as. Cast your game on TV. Oh, that could be it. But Smart View does that, surely. Oh, but there's a delay with Smart View. That makes sense. So, I'm guessing. What's red? I've got an article up for you guys. I'll show you guys this now. Let me change to the main. Here we go. Sony Interactive Entertainment has patented what appears to be a PlayStation controller designed for mobile gaming. The patent, which was published this week by SIE Japan Division, describes a system for playing games on a device coupled with two controller grips. The controller resembles PS4's DualShock 4 rather than the DualSense, and it's described as a left side grip portion and right side grip portion, gripped by the left and right hand. So this is definitely a two-part controller to grip either side of a mobile phone. According to the patent, the included drawings of the device omit a shaft portion that can be tilted by the user and detect the tilting direction and tilting amount of the shaft portion. So you're looking at motion control there. If such a device comes to fruition, it could be used in conjunction with smartphone to play PlayStation games via remote play. Very true. Or even, obviously, down the line, native PlayStation mobile games. But unfortunately, there is no information on the block. But here's what Jim Ryan has to say. We have been thinking about how players enjoy our content and have had some early success with experimenting with mobile games and apps to provide more choice to gamers. He said, mobile is just one of the areas we are exploring to reach millions of gamers beyond our platforms. PlayStation is a huge catalogue of diverse first-party IP that can be transitioned to smartphone gaming and complement our AAA games. I said it before, this would be supplementary or complementary, and that's their vision too, which is great news. Or live service games. We are exploring the mobile market with some wonderful PlayStation franchise, so stay tuned. So more information on this later, I'm guessing, guys. Can you imagine a Wipeout game?
Yeah.
On mobile?
That would be insane. On a mobile device, yeah. I could see Wipeout happening on a mobile.
Yeah. On a juicy OLED.
They could push that forward, then. I mean, I would consider it. I would, look into it and see how it is. I mean, if it's like the Vita or something like that, but a handheld device where they bring IPs to it, where you get some like Wipeout or like you mentioned, like God of War, then yeah, I would consider it, but I would need to see it first, obviously. But I would consider it.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
What about you, Wilhelm? Is it your bag?
Oh.
Is that
it? Sorry, it's kind of late here. My head isn't really operating like high speed today.
We're gonna call it shortly, my dude. Don't you worry. No problem, my dude. You just know. Is that it?
I think so.
I love it. But fair play, my dude. Fair play. Fair play. You're not much of a mobile gaming fan yourself.
No.
Lastly, my dudes, the last subject to touch on tonight. Well, anyway, we've kind of covered this from all sides. It is what it is. Hey, David Faulkner shared a bit on it as well, which was exciting. And yeah, what do you guys think? Would you be interested in mobile gaming from PlayStation if those games were bespoke and monetized fairly, i.e. sold for a fixed, relatively modest fee to reach billions of gamers, or hopefully not the games as a service route too much, like most tacky mobile games out there? Would you be interested in it? What's your thoughts? Comment, let us know. Be good to hear you guys. But yeah, Buck Roger isn't keen on the Switch or mobile gaming in general. He's kind of been burnt out by gaming, I think, modern day gaming, because of the way that it's going. So I do feel for you, Buck. I know you're old school fella, but I get that. Moving on to the last subject before we close this up. Where are the games, Sony? Does this narrative hold weight? So
You got to give me a break. Oh my goodness. This is the thing, Willie. They have Xbox has two big first-party titles. Towards the end of the year, that's two first-party titles since launch, and it's like the second coming because they have two titles coming out for the holidays. You have to look at what the future holds too. Look what we have from January to April of next year. It's insane. It's just this idea that you have two first-party titles that come out during the holidays since launch to build that narrative as, where Xbox is back, it's game of the year, all this fake, this fanboyism narrative being pushed. It's just...
Yep. No facts.
It's craziness. It's mental.
I'm going to show
something
this picture.
I don't know what it is. Something's in the water. I don't know what, but come on. They're good games. Forza's a great game, but the way Halo is going, as far as being behind a paywall with the free to play, pay behind a wall type method, subscription service game, I just
facts. I made this little thumbnail. Or this little picture using Canva the other day, just showing some of the many games coming out exclusive to PlayStation. Right. Although Project Eve is in question, there's no absolute confirmation of that, but it's looking likely. But regardless, even with that out the way, Project Eve out the way, look at what we've got here. We've got Final Fantasy 16. That's not including Endwalker, which is coming out. We've got Horizon Forbidden West, Forspoken, GT7, Sifu, which looks incredible, Ghostwire Tokyo, Stray, Little Devil Inside, God of War Ragnarok. These are all either timed exclusives to PlayStation for a significant amount of time, or they are actual full-on exclusives, or just console exclusives, but exclusives nonetheless. Now, guys, this is 2022 alone. This isn't even 2023. This isn't including Spider-Man 3 or Wolverine or Project Magnum, or if that's an exclusive, no guarantee yet. But this isn't including all these future games, or this isn't including Fire Sprites games or Firewalk Studios games or Haven's games. Or
to be announced.
Yeah, this isn't including any of their games. Or what's the other one? The other studio. You've got Haven, Firewalk, and what's it called? Begins with D, I think it is. It's another indie studio that Sony have kind of funded and are working with. If you guys can remind me. I can't remember the name. It'll come back to me. Deviation. Gadget, you're a legend. Deviation Studios. This isn't including any of their titles. This isn't including, the Last of Us factions, whatever that is, what they're bringing out, or Sucker Punch's next game. This isn't including any of that shit. It's all 2022 alone that we have confirmed so far. And look at it, guys. Look at it. This is after we have received game after game from Sony from November to November. Now, what really pisses me off about this narrative, because for those who aren't in the know, there's a narrative going around right now by a lot of zealous pro-Microsoft, pro-Xbox-centric channels. Where are Sony's games this holiday? It's very much what have you done for me lately attitude, because it strikes me that, November to November, if you include that as a 12-month period, which it is, and you focus on that, Sony have delivered us Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Remastered, Sackboy, re-releases such as, Death Stranding, Director's Cut, and all that shit, Ghost of Tsushima. Then they've given us Deathloop and Kena, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal. I mean, what do you want from these guys? It strikes me like you guys. OT made a phenomenal point, and it's a shame he's not here tonight. But OT said you all ignore great games until they arrive on your preferred platform, and he just couldn't sum it up better. How could? Bro, I'm going to shut up and give the mic to other people. But what's your thoughts on this narrative?
It's 100% true. What he was saying. It's like they only want to say it's a great game when it comes on their console.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that narrative most of the time, and you don't hear that narrative from the PlayStation side.
It's true.
Forza's a great game. You know what I'm saying? It's not on my platform. I've said great game, but yet you only want to set any kind of accomplishments for your console when it comes out on your system of choice. It just,
yep.
It's just the thought of that. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like I'm willing to say great game on for something that I don't own. Why can't that happen the other way around?
Facts. I just want to encourage you guys who are watching right now to watch this sniper shot of mine. Just watch this. I'm really proud of this one. Hold on. You'll see it in a second. Keep watching. But no, Social, you're speaking facts, man. Everybody is... there we go. That's the shot. Look at that headshot right there. Oof, juicy. But on a serious note, my dudes, absolute facts, Social. You've hit the nail on the head. It seems like people are quick to praise Xbox when they deliver a good game, but but it's not kind of PlayStation are not recognized. They're just kind of taken for granted. I mean, they've kept this generation from November to November going. If you take out third-party developers and multiplats, and it seems a real shame that great games aren't appreciated or recognized by the Xbox community until they land on their preferred console, and then they say, "Where are the games, Sony?" I mean, if you really want to get this narrative that there are no games until next year for PlayStation, it's actually false, right? Because in December you've got Ultra Age coming out. And if you don't know Ultra Age, check it out. It's a pretty awesome looking game. I'm gonna get up this list that Zuby wrote of every game coming out in December alone. Check this out. And these are exclusives to PlayStation. It's pretty extensive actually. You wouldn't believe it.
The list is extensive too. It's a lot of games for Sony.
Yeah. And then just a couple of months after here we go. Trying to find find this list. Here we go. December, right? We're getting. Look at this list from Zubitech. This is why I rate this guy. He is formidable. You don't want to cross him in an argument. Because look at this. Look at this tweet. You gotta love these ponies living in the past, talking sales figures like they're getting paid by Sony. One question they can't answer: where are your games? Oh my dudes, forgive me. I bit the bait. I put, you keep ignoring great games until you eventually get one on your console. From November to November, what has Xbox Series X received? One cross-gen AAA and a simulator. Now compare. In 1 month, we're getting Ultra Age. 2 months after that, we're getting exclusive after exclusive. Forspoken, Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West, right? But then notice what Zubitech wrote, which is, it was pretty brutal. When clowns say nothing to play in December, PlayStation like Solar Ash. That's the 2nd of December. We're getting Solar Ash, which looks dope. Breakhearts 2. I mean, we got to look at some of the gameplay of these games. Breakhearts 2. Let's have a look at this. I've never heard of this game. I'll be honest, but I mean, it's.
If anybody hasn't seen Solar Ash, you need to check that out. That's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah, it was, Solar Ash looks incredible. Let me get that up actually. Solar Ash. Here we go. Check this gameplay out. So this is Solar Ash gameplay. We'll get this up for you guys. Right. So Solar Ash, Breakhearts 2, Heavenly Bodies on the 7th. We've got Final Fantasy Endwalker, which is exclusive to PlayStation, on the 7th as well. We've got After the Fall on the 9th. We've got Terminator Resistance Enhanced Annihilation DLC on the 10th. Five Nights at Freddy's on the 16th. Not including Solar Ash. Solar Ash is mentioned. Sorry, not including, what was the name I gave? Ultra Age. Not including Ultra Age, which is a PlayStation exclusive. And Ultra Age looks dope as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. And then a mere couple of months after that, just 2 months after that, you got flipping Horizon Forbidden West and Sifu. So I feel like it's so disingenuous to preach the idea and the narrative that after game has been given you from the launch of the PS5, when no games were given you by Xbox for the launch of the Series X, you're going to sit there and demand games from Sony over a 3-month period when there are actual still games coming. Solar Ash has been marketed by Sony for time now for PlayStation, and we're finally getting it in December. A perfect time, a perfect window to get the game just prior to all the big boys coming out in February. But I want to hear you guys. Go on, mate.
The third party also outperforms the PS5 too. So you got to think about that. Not only this first party coming out, but also there's the third party stuff is outperforming the Xbox.
Yeah, facts.
So I mean, from what they've done, test-wise.
It's similar to the narrative that PlayStation fans don't know multiplayer games. I mean, that's a false ass narrative. I mean, multiplayer games sell more on PlayStation. The vast majority sell more than double on PlayStation than Xbox, and they might not be first party, but I mean, apart from Halo Infinite, which is arguable, Halo haven't exactly. I mean, yeah, you've got Forza Horizon 5 as well, but you look at the best multiplayer games on the market, and you're looking at Apex Legends, you're looking at Fortnite if you're into that shit. I'm not personally, but if you are, great. You're looking at Call of Duty Warzone. These are the games that are kind of other multiplayer shooters are weighed against, or other multiplayer experiences are weighed against. I'd say Forza Horizon 5 offers the best multiplayer experience in an open world racing game, hands down. But I wouldn't call Xbox bragging rights with their multiplayer offering. I mean, especially when the competition, PlayStation, it offers good quality multiplayer experiences like Factions and Uncharted 4 multiplayer. So the idea that PlayStation fans don't know multiplayer games, it's the same kind of logic used, right? When all I see my friends playing on PlayStation is multiplayer games until
people are dumb because
it's ludicrous. Yeah,
this is all fanboy argument when they limit it to first party multiplayer games, knowing damn well that majority of the multiplayer games, right, like the third parties multiplayer are played most on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty's played most on PlayStation. Rainbow Six, Battlefield, like all of these games, are played most on PlayStation. Yeah. But because they're not first party, right? People completely discount that and act like PlayStation gamers or people who prefer the PlayStation platforms, like we just don't play no multiplayer at all. It's like, nope, we only play the single player first party games and that's it, which is absolutely not true. That's not true at all. Which another dumb thing is like when they say, well, what is PlayStation? What do y'all have to play for the holidays? Motherfucker, Battlefield just came out. Like, these are all games. These are all games available on your PlayStation platform for you to play this holiday. But because they're not first party exclusives, they don't count it, and so they make it seem like we just sit here, we're just gonna be sitting through the holidays with a black screen on our PlayStation, on our TVs, just sitting here not doing nothing. It was like, right?
I was gonna say if Halo can reach the player count of Final Fantasy Endwalker, I'll be surprised. It's Endwalker's got a huge player base. It's enormous on PC and PlayStation. But yeah, no, facts. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a huge multiplayer title. Guapzilla made a fantastic point. Endwalker is the biggest multiplayer exclusive this holiday.
Hold on, no. Don't get you can't go. No, Guapzilla got that from me. I swear to you, because I tweeted, I DM'd him that when he was doing a debate on Twitter Space, and I was like, yo, tell him that FF14 Endwalker will be the biggest multiplayer game this holiday, bigger than Halo and stuff like that. Then he started saying that.
Okay, so being completely fair to Guap, he knew you were on the panel, so he probably did it in good faith that you would read that comment. And I don't think he was trying to cap that it was his, although I do call him Capzilla, so he might have been. I'm only joking, Guap. You know it's all love, bro.
Yeah, how to mess with him.
Yeah. But no, that's awesome, my dude. Guapzilla says salute to Chris. Book Roger put Chris's PS5 has gone ghost since Shin Megami Tensei came out.
That shit has my balls.
There's rumors that game's coming out on PlayStation. That was also from Chris. So salute to Chris. Double whammy. Chris always delivering the goods. So yeah, sorry for my bit of a woolly rant, my guys. I had a bit of a rant there. But, I mean, just look at this freaking list, my dudes. I mean, where is it? Have I closed it down? There it is. Look at this list. I'm going to minimize this for you guys to see. These games... I don't know what's going on here. These add-ons. Close that. Stupid PC. Honestly, guys, PC is more hassle than it's worth. These games are coming out 2022. And this game, this absolute bad boy. Well, sorry, not this one. This is Final Fantasy 16. But the protagonist looks really similar to the protagonist in Endwalker. But you got Endwalker coming out in December. And Solar Ash. That's two exclusives, my dudes. This narrative that PlayStation has no games coming out is ridiculous. So yeah, just wanted to kind of dispel that narrative because it was winding me up a little bit.
It's bullshit. Nah, it's bullshit. See, that's why I don't like. You don't really see me make videos on people, to quote tweet people, screenshots exposing people or whatever, because I know there's all these people are full of shit, because the same people who are criticizing PlayStation for not having a big first party, AAA game come out this holidays, those same people didn't have no issues with Xbox Series launching with literally no big games, no exclusives, no next gen only games, nothing. They didn't have a problem with that, but now all of a sudden they have a problem with PlayStation not having a big first party game November and December. That's why I know these people are capping. They're full of shit.
They really are, my dude. They really are. But you're going to get these narratives, but just wanted to kind of have a little rant after David and Akira went. And you're all speaking facts. You, Social, you, Chris. Wilhelm, are you good, bro? Or have you fallen asleep?
I'm trying to stay awake.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll do you a favor, my bro, and we'll call it here. But it's been a fire show, my guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm so glad that we pulled off such a great episode despite being an hour late, having a limited panel. Shout out to David Faulkner. Go follow him, Falky87. Absolute legend. Really knows his stuff in terms of all things analytical. And he's a very reputable and authoritative source of balanced, non-biased information when it comes to the console wars. So definitely give him a follow. Shout out to Chris Righteous for joining us late. Social Destruct too for joining us late. But it's been so awesome to have these guys on the show. There's always a seat for these two on the show. Hope you guys know that. You're always welcome on the show anytime you want. And shout out to Wilhelm for keeping awake and representing. Great that he's there. Akira, sadly he's gone, but it's awesome that he was able to contribute what he did to the show as well. So thank you to all of you. It's been absolutely awesome. But DE says, Wooly, I'ma DM you some stuff popping in Stalker win on Xbox and Starfield trailers, etc. artifacts. Oh, that sounds pretty awesome, my dude. Yeah, definitely gonna take you up on that. Compost Smurf, hey brother, you missed the fire show, dude, but don't fret. You've got an awesome episode to catch up on, and it was smooth sailing the whole way, believe it or not. It was pretty awesome, so definitely enjoy that. And it's a little bit shorter than most episodes, so that's a win as well. Everybody in the chat, you've been absolutely awesome tonight. Love you all. Thank you so much. Shout out to Ultra Mega, DE, Truth Teller, Compost Smurf, Buck Roger, Dark Queen Gaming, she went, Guapzilla, all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It's just been awesome. Nelson Gaming, Gadget, you're all awesome. So let's go to the outros. Mr. Chris Righteous, where can we find you, my guy?
Just follow me on Twitter, also YouTube. I put the link on the chat. Because I finally Twitter, they started doing recorded space, so now we can actually natively record the space on the Twitter app, and it'll actually hold it for 30 days, so you can listen to the playback on Twitter.
That's awesome.
Like I just did one with JRPG versus Western RPG. I just did it today, and I had the recorder, so y'all can go on my timeline and click on that.
What you can do, bro, just some advice with those spaces. What you can do is after you've done them, play them back on your PC on OBS on a full screen capture. Just create a source, a full screen capture source. It's very easy.
I lost my PC in a fire. I have a PC
oh
right
shit!
now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my dude. To remind you.
Yeah,
if you want, I can do it for you, and send and. If you ever want to give me, I mean, it's up to you, but if you want to post them on your YouTube channel, I could always do that for you, bro, and help a brother out. And you can start posting your
I can. Well, yeah, that's what I do. I can record them on my iPhone and just post them up on my YouTube. Now, the first game I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Not the first game. Why I said the first game? The first JRPG versus Western RPG. I already have it down. I already have it downloaded. I just gotta upload it. I'm definitely gonna do that. But yeah, all my other ones are gonna do that too. And
That's
I'm
awesome.
yeah, and that's like the main reason why I haven't been doing a lot of like videos because I need to get a new PC and shit like that, and I'm limited to like my iPhone as far as like making videos, and it's not a whole lot you can truly do. You can do some things, but not a whole lot of things. But yeah, y'all can catch me on there. Woody, we need to get on that. I was playing on Monday. I was playing what's that game called again? Breakpoint. I was playing Breakpoint with a couple of guys.
enjoying
Yeah,
it?
with well, I mean, I played it before, and
So
so I
good,
just
man.
got back and just to jump on. But the 60 FPS
Huge
does make a pretty
difference.
big difference.
Yeah, it's probably the
So
most substantial difference I've experienced in a game yet. The 60 FPS option in Breakpoint, in terms of playability, because aiming was pretty difficult on the 30 FPS mode. But it really does affect the gameplay so much better for me at 60 FPS with Breakpoint, 100%. But no, I'm definitely down for that, my dude. We'll hook up and play that game together. It really is awesome. I'd recommend anybody to give Breakpoint a shot now. Play it in immersive settings. Turn off the HUD. Use your laser on your gun for aiming and your ADS as well. Play tactically. Have it on extreme difficulty, and it's not ridiculous. The AI is pretty believable and realistic. It's really fun. I'd really recommend it. Turn off drones and all that shit, and just experience a really good immersive tactical experience. There's quite a few on this podcast, on this panel, in the chat who like Breakpoint too, so I'm glad we're not alone in that. But I really would recommend it. Search up Breakpoint on YouTube 2021, and it's literally all praise. It's really, really highly praised now, so I'm not capping. Social Destruct, where can we find you, my guy?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, social-destruct. You can follow me. Thanks for having me on. Gonna be playing Battlefield 2042 tonight, so
So good, bro.
So I love that game. I think it's a must-have for PS5. But yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
No,
Appreciate it.
it's awesome having you, dude. You're always welcome here, and really glad that you could join us and be here with us. So thank you. Wilhelm, I can speak for you if you're asleep. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm awake. I'm awake.
All right, my brother. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter under @MaximusWilhelm, and I'm sorry that I couldn't have give more input in today's episode. I didn't felt like I was quite in my element today somehow. I mean, it's quite hard to say something when we have David and Akira.
Never
with their
feel
expertise,
overshadowed, bro. Never feel overshadowed. If you're overshadowed, then I am even more so, because you know more than I do about the majority of things gaming. So
No, I didn't feel overshadowed. Just saying that with their expertise on those topics, it's quite hard to like add something that isn't like basically repeating their words just a little more primitively.
But sometimes, bro, that helps the point hammer home. That's all I do. I just repeat other people's shit.
Oh, your mind being blown, man.
I know, but
There's
honestly,
a lot of information being thrown at you. Yeah.
Facts.
So I learned a lot. Yeah, I'll tell you that much.
100%.
Yeah, it's definitely a great learning curve. I just hope that next week's episode I'll be a hell of a lot more entertaining. This last week was a strong episode for me.
Shout out to Salty's Gaming in the chat.
Something that I don't know. So if I don't know mobile gaming, I don't want to make a comment on something that I don't know about too much, or a game I haven't played. I don't like doing that. So.
But if you start off what you say as someone who, and I don't know, is just a casual or whatever, you're basically allowed to give your opinion, my dude. You don't have to be an authority on the subject. We've got other people for that. But you always should feel share your opinion. I mean, that's what Chris Righteous does, right? That's what I do. That's what Akira does, really. He's not an expert. He's informed because he's passionate. And you all bring something unique and special to the table and bring great points. So I'm all the more power to you guys, including you, Wilhelm. There's a reason why I asked you to be a panel member, dude, and you've got an insane amount of knowledge for such a young lad. So respect
Really
to you.
appreciate it. Yeah.
For all your modesty, But we'll have to have a retro gaming special, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Sorry, but now I gotta take a piss and then go to sleep. It's quite late here.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it here, my dudes. But to everybody in the chat, thank you so much for watching. We love you all. Shout out to Salty's Gaming, who's arrived late. You've got a hell of a show to watch, brother. It was awesome. It was one of the best ones yet. They're just seeming to get better and better and better. Sometimes we have little quiet episodes that don't quite hit the mark as well, but sometimes we have gems, and tonight was a gem. So enjoy that. To all of you watching, we love you. Thank you for joining the Worldwide Company of Gamers tonight for the 17th episode. We will catch you all next time. Much love, stay awesome, keep smiling, keep gaming, and take care.